How about now? Can you hear me now?
I don't think so. No.
Might be a little bit of a delay there.
No, the people are saying no, and I didn't hear anything of it.
So now Alex says good. See?
How about now?
There we
See?
go.
See?
Yay. Probably because I'm not fully live, because it had to buffer.
It could be. Oh. All right. Look at me wearing a new hoodie today. Southbound Chocolate Company. This is a nice dang hoodie, man.
Oh, good. It's buffering. I guess I just won't munch. I guess I just look because this is weird. Because I'm going to be on a 10-second delay on video.
I don't know what the deal is, man.
Corporate Wi-Fi.
25-year-old Michael Cohen was arraigned on a level 4 felony child molesting charge. According to ABC 57, the girl's mother found Cohen and her daughter in her
South Bend Chocolate sponsor now?
No, they are not, but they sent over that wonderful taste test gift package at the end of the year. And included in that was this Stella hoodie, which happens to be MNC blue. It's nice and shiny too. You can't really see it on the camera, but it's got a nice glisten to it.
Kind of looks like the quick dry material.
Yeah, yep. That's kind of what it is. It's not normal cotton. Because cotton's racist. Can't have cotton no more. What do we got here?
Matthew Cotton says good afternoon.
What's up, Matthew? I'm a little behind because I was editing some stuff and the computer was going way too slow. So I've got to do some things here. Oh, man. Did the little animation play?
No. He's just going through recent subscribers. It changed. I was like, oh, new people. But I didn't know how you're...
Yeah, I don't think the subscribers today thing works. I don't think I have that programmed right. So even when we have new ones, it always says 0. When somebody does subscribe, you should see Stan Marsh driving his hybrid, going, dinks, and peeling away. That's what you should see. The Hillbilly Hipster. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, here we go. Gotta get some lights on. It's all about that bling. What am I going to talk about? And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. And please put MNC at the beginning of that message. I do want to thank all of you for joining us today. Happy Friday. Don't forget the final hour free-for-all starts at 5 o'clock. That's where you call about anything you want. We open the lines up to all of you, so you get to dictate what is discussed on the show. I also want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle, Indiana. And Second Amendment Arms and Range, of course, is going to give you half off your range time if you mention me, and only if you mention me. You also get 10% off in the store, and you get listener-exclusive discounts on firearms. Okay, a lot to get to today. We will do some March for Life stuff today. I've got some friends that are actually out there doing that. Mike Pence made a surprise appearance at the March for Life, so we'll get to some of that stuff a little bit later on in the program. But there is a lot to discuss, actually, and one of the things that I think is kind of flying under the radar today is North Korea. So a North Korean envoy was in Washington, D.C. today while those so-called secret talks are happening. And so this is the U.S. and North Korea, and I know Fox has covered it, but I mean, just in general, this isn't as big of a story as it should be. Again, we've got visitors from North Korea in the United States. It just doesn't happen. So you would assume that it would be a big deal, right? After a few months of relative stasis, engagement with North Korea has shifted into high gear on two fronts. A top military figure from Pyongyang arrived in Washington last night after a first trip got canceled 2 months ago. Neither side announced the arrival of General Kim Yong-chol, the first such visit to D.C. in a generation. Top North Korean general was paying a rare visit Friday to Washington, where he's expected to meet President Donald Trump to finalize a new summit aimed at denuclearization and easing decades of hostility. I'm surprised that CNN didn't at least take the opportunity to try to say that Donald Trump was trying to sell the country to North Korea. Kim Jong-chol, a right-hand man to leader Kim Jong-un, is the first North Korean dignitary in nearly 2 decades known to have spent the night in the U.S. Capitol, little more than a year after Trump was threatening to wipe the totalitarian state off of the map, which was a response to their threats. Remember, they were trying to say that that was Trump starting World War III. Remember all of that? He was just responding to them literally saying that they were going to nuke New York and D.C. and all of that other stuff. He's like, look, you want to play around with red button stuff? All right, I got a bigger red button than you, and mine works. You really want to mess around with it? Here we go. And then shortly after that, we had the, I will use the term normalization of relations with caveats and asterisks. Just understand what I mean by that. There has been a lot of movement, by the way, between North and South Korea, less so with the United States. A lot of people have been frustrated by that, but the administration and even South Korea has said, actually, it's a good thing because the United States should probably stay out of this, and the two of us should probably go ahead and move forward separately from the United States. Let North Korea and the United States handle their relations separately from North and South Korea. Just makes the most sense, rather than it being a U.S. and South Korea versus North Korea in any negotiations or anything like that, giving the impression that it's 2-on-1 or whatever. So North and South Korea seem to be happy that that's happening. We're just, we're handling our business with North Korea, but not interfering with what's happening with the South. Kim was supposed to visit in November to meet Mike Pompeo in New York. That got called off as both governments accused each other of negotiating in bad faith. Kim will meet with Pompeo later today, according to the AFP, although privately rather than with the normal pomp of diplomatic mission. So again, very interesting stuff. Envoys from the United States and North Korea took part in an unannounced high-level meeting in Stockholm on Friday, according to an official. Swedish Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Diana Kudhybe, hope I got that right, said that the talks included North Korea's deputy foreign minister, but declined to give any further details. Sweden's TT news agency said that the U.S. Special Envoy for North Korea and Swedish Foreign Minister were also in attendance for all of that. So it's pretty cool. The Swedish Foreign Minister did say that these talks were just a minor format. It wasn't any major negotiation or anything like that. Just basically, who are you guys? Handshaking, introductions, that sort of stuff. What are you guys looking to get here and that sort of thing. But it wasn't the actual overarching negotiation. So still very interesting. I mean, again, I totally get the skepticism of North Korea. I got it too, because it is Kim Jong-un. And you got to be skeptical of that guy. But, when you look at his history, his background, the rumors about him before he actually took over the country, and all of the other stuff that has kind of happened, he has widely been seen as, leading up to some of the stuff that did happen early on in his administration, if you will, or his, I don't know how you would call it, not his administration since he's not really elected, but you know what I mean, his fiefdom, that you have a guy that's a little bit more open to the Western world. He studied in the Western world. He spent time here. He's had a penchant for some of the comforts that we have. And so there's always been hope that he would open it up. And so far, he has opened it up quite a bit. The big concern there is that, is it a ruse to get more money in order to nuke the South or do whatever? We don't know. But right now, the relationship between the North and the South seems to be very friendly and cordial. They're getting rid of various things that they have along their borders that are used as propaganda against one another. The South has gotten rid of some stuff. The North has gotten rid of some stuff. I think that fake town that the North had, where they were blasting some of that fake music and things like that. Well, the South blasted K-pop, I think, across, and then the North would blast other stuff back across. And I think they've disassembled those. The South has disassembled some of the billboards, I think, that were visible from the North. They've gotten rid of those. So there's been some concessions on both sides where they're really just trying to get rid of the cross-border propaganda aspect of this. So at least it's movement in the right direction, and hopefully it creates a lasting peace and is one of those things that we can talk about as being an historic moment going forward. And everybody talks about Richard Nixon right now with everything that happened with Watergate and all of that, although they get Watergate completely wrong. And then when they make movies about the Washington Post and Watergate, they get all of that wrong. But hey, whatever, it's got Tom Hanks in it, so watch it. And we don't remember everything he did with China. And everything that Nixon did with China was huge at that time. Massively important. We don't remember Operations Linebacker 1 and 2 in Vietnam, which ended the war, by the way, on our terms, and actually gave the South an opportunity to win that thing in the 2 years that we weren't even a part of the conflict, but they didn't do it. You know, everybody ignores all of that stuff. So maybe this will get just washed out with the way that the press and people who write the history books do these sorts of things. But you know, we could very well be seeing one of the most significant foreign policy victories in any recent administration going back to the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's been absolutely amazing to see what's happening with North Korea, and hopefully that progress continues. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an Alexa, I want to let you know that you have the opportunity to listen to 95.3 MNC anywhere. So you can go to, obviously, the radio, where many of you are listening to it right now, 953mnc.com. You can download the free 95.3 MNC app, and of course, on your Alexa. All you have to do is say, you just put me near Alexa, I'll do it for you. Alexa, activate the 95.3 MNC skill. Boom. Just like that, you've got 95.3 MNC. You got all of your weather updates. By the way, Storm Harper. Yes, Storm Harper coming through this weekend. Name of my daughter. Very fitting. So Storm Harper's coming through tonight. You get all of those updates right there on your Amazon Alexa, all of your traffic issues, of course, the best talk radio lineup in all of Michiana and, frankly, pretty much anywhere else. And all of that right there on your Alexa just by activating the 95.3 MNC skill. We got more coming up on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.
This first one, this new break, the bump to break one, this one I think out of all the new ones, this one's the best.
This is the best break?
The best bump to break.
Oh, gotcha.
That,
Oh, the new sounds?
yeah.
I don't even really get to hear them, so I haven't really paid too much attention.
R.M. Hendrickson, your mother.
Yes.
Go ahead. She thought that was funny.
Well, it was funny. It was hysterical. Yeah, Shanna told me last night, she's like, did you see what the name of the storm is? I'm like, no. She goes, Harper. I'm like, that's fitting. Especially since she sent me a message yesterday while I was at work. What's that?
You got a like on Facebook.
Heck yeah, I did. And thank you, by the way. And my wife was like, you need to go home. The kids are being stressful. Okay, I'll go home. Let's see.
What's the Pelosi talk? What's going on in the chat?
Nancy Pelosi went out there and tried to say that the president jeopardized her security by telling everybody she was going to Afghanistan. Therefore, they couldn't go to Afghanistan. They were going to go commercial, but they couldn't because the president gave their position and their plans away.
Alex, because people don't know how to drive in the snow. So people freak out about it because they don't know how to handle it, even though they've lived here basically their entire lives.
I know. And it's funny because my wife was like, she's from Los Angeles, right? She hates the damn snow. She's like, every year when the first snow gets here, the first big storm, we blow it out of proportion, and it's not a big deal. I'm like, you're right. Every year. So her sister is supposed to be coming to visit for a week, and she's supposed to arrive early Sunday morning, and now she's considering not coming because everybody has her freaked out about the storms. In spite of the fact that there really isn't anything that is endangering any aircraft, but go figure.
I agree with Dean.
Yep, stream some games, man. As long as I can keep the kids away from me and actually let me do it.
Give them some snow pants, some boots, and tell them to go build a snowman.
Bree wants to build a snowman so bad.
I don't think I've ever built a snowman.
I don't know that I've built a real one ever.
Well, you grew up in Nevada, though.
Well, yeah, I know. We have Mount Charleston, though. Mount Charleston gets tons of snow. I don't think that I've ever actually done it. I've done some like walls and for snowball fights and things like that, but I don't think I've actually ever built a snowman.
I've done sledding plenty of times, and I think we built ramps, and that was great because I had a really good inflatable sled that would fly across snow. And so we had this big hill in our church, and the youth group would go, like the kids club youth group would go sledding, and I always brought that sled. We had one of the adults got on it, got on the ramp, and flew down the hill, and it probably went about 20 feet in the air.
Oh my God. That would be so fun.
Man, I love those things. Oh, man. And also, like, it's exhausting. You have to go back up the hill. I'm like, I'm going to break something if I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming system in the bathroom. See, this is why you get a Switch, and you can take your gaming system anywhere you want.
That is true.
And it doesn't matter.
Hello, I'm Hendrickson, owner of Sign to the Times. We're a full-service sign company. We've been in business now going on 14 years. We have 2 stores located in Elkhart.
Wow, actually, one of those are
Vehicle wraps have just taken off in the last several years, and with that, our business has grown. And when we give you something,
Soviet Russia, everything tracks you.
That's right.
it's a notch above. When you walk into our door, we engage with anybody on our staff. Realize that you're dealing with true professionals, and they absolutely love what they do, and they want to help you and take care of your needs. Whether it's a small job, or whether it's a $5,000 or $10,000 job, I want somebody who walks in and say, I want a $25 t-shirt to feel.
Do you think Trump wore a blue tie because red's the color of
I
kindness?
honestly believe one of the most important things in business is taking care of people, period. And
I don't know.
their job, no matter how big or small,
Red's the color of the Republican Party now, too. Didn't used to be. Republican Party's color used to be blue. But they switched it on the late night news. Hey, good afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. This just in like 14 minutes ago. Trump is going to meet Kim Jong-un again in late February. So that's coming up. So I guess there were some fruitful talks at the various discussions that happened today and earlier in the week in Sweden. Do want to thank R&B Car Company, locations in South Bend and Warsaw. R&B Car Company are your used car experts. All right. So let's see here. Okay, this Nancy Pelosi stuff. All right, so I'm still laughing about it. All right, yesterday, did you all see on Facebook, for those of you watching on Facebook, if you haven't seen it, just scroll down the news feed and look at it, because Trump had Nancy Pelosi's luggage delivered to her Congress office, her congressional office, right there on like one of those hotel carts. By the way, she packs way too much, which you would expect from a wealthy white lady. So, it's hysterical. So anyway, it's just like her office, and then you've got like the hotel cart out there with all of her bags and all this stuff on there. It's great. So everything that happened yesterday, with as funny as that was, he threw it right back at her face. And now what she is saying is that Trump jeopardized their lives. Okay. He jeopardized their lives because he announced that they were planning to travel to Afghanistan, because all he said is, hey, I regret to inform you that you're not going to go to Brussels, Cairo, and Afghanistan now. And with the shutdown and everything else, besides, you should stay in D.C. and negotiate with me so we can reopen the government. That's all he said. He said, if you want to go, it's your prerogative. You can fly commercial, right? He didn't say, Nancy Pelosi, here's the flight, here's the time, here's where it goes in. So she goes out there and she says, oh, the threat assessment now says that we are in grave danger if we go to Afghanistan and everything else. Which how much grain of truth you want to be there? Is it possible that there's more chatter in Afghanistan about the possibility that there was going to be some American diplomats getting there? Sure. But that happens when you have trips that are announced within a couple of hours of them landing anyway. So, that doesn't mean that their lives are in any more danger as opposed to any other time. But, okay, there's at least a grain of possibility there, right? But the whole point is he was trying to get her to stay into DC anyway to work on the shutdown. So while they're running around out there and they're saying, "Oh, he was trying to get us killed, and he put our lives in danger," you could argue, well, no, what he was trying to do is actually get you to stay in town and de-incentivize you to leave, so that way you'd stay here and negotiate and reopen the government for all these 800,000 people that you say you care about and want to see get paid. So now they have issued new travel guidelines for everyone for the shutdown. The Trump administration doubled down on grounding House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and effectively grounded all congressional delegations for the duration of the shutdown. On Friday morning, acting director of the Office of Management and Budget, that's the OMB, Russ Vought, tweeted a memo indicating that all congressional travel at government expense has been suspended until the shutdown ends. You want to go back to your district? You're getting your own flight. The memo explained that while the government would still provide for the security of traveling members of Congress, the travel expenses would not be absorbed by the government, it reads. Remember when we said that the government, if it made it to the third week, it was going to save $8.9 billion? Now, the media is saying, oh, it's going to cost $8.9 million. No, actually, it saves $8.9 million because this money is not being spent. It doesn't cost, it saves. This could save even more, if you think about it. So, I mean, Trump just keeps adding to how much money he could potentially have for the border wall. Under no circumstance during a government shutdown will any government-owned, rented, leased, or chartered aircraft support any congressional delegation without the express written approval of the White House Chief of Staff, nor will any funds appropriated to the executive branch be used for any congressional delegation travel expenses without his express written approval. Departments and agencies shall continue to provide appropriate logistical and security support for such delegations. That's it. We're not going to pay for your flight back. We'll send the guns, but we're not going to pay for your flight back. If you want to go back to your district during the shutdown, do it. But you're going to pay for it yourself, which really is going to irk a lot of these people, right? A lot of them have grown to love their extra special travel privileges. Did you see that John Kasich has apparently come under fire for kicking a woman out of her seat on an airplane? Did you see this? Now, for those of you who don't know, I've tried mentioning this before during the campaign, all right? I don't just dislike Kasich because of his politics. Kasich's a jerk, like in real life. He is an actual god-awful human being, according to literally everybody I know that has met him. Okay, I've never met him, but everybody I know that has met John Kasich has nothing but horrible things to say about John Kasich. And he apparently kicked some woman off of this flight. I guess he was offered to take certain seat on the plane that could have, I guess, in some way, allowed this woman to stay in her seat, and he didn't. So he chose to kick her out of her seat instead. I'm looking for the hold on, is it Kasich airline seat? I didn't think I was actually going to talk about it, so I deleted it for my show prep. Yeah, all right. So Kasich gets hammered after stealing a woman's seat on a flight. So here we go. Former Ohio governor and current CNN analyst, potential GOP candidate in 2020. John Kasich is in hot water with a woman who says that he stole her seat on an Alaska airline flight on Wednesday. Author and comedian Julie Klausner said that the former governor was being problematic with the airline staff after being bumped from first class. And he stole her seat before she could get in it, according to her report. Now, we're taking her word for it. Do I know if she's telling the truth? No, but it's anti-Kasich, so I'm going to run with it. LOL, I just got bumped off of this flight to San Francisco by John Kasich, she said. Oh my God, this is insane. Kasich was just asked to move to premium from first class and took my seat instead. So he's just like, no, I'm going to sit here instead. I volunteered to take a later flight instead of fighting. Alaska Airlines, your employees are the best, sweetest people, and thanks, airport employees, for working without pay today. I mean, it's hysterical. It's just hysterical. So I don't even know why I was getting into that, but I was for some reason. Oh, yeah, the flight thing. So because he was traveling. So like I said, they love their perks. They love their privileges. And if they get taken away, oh boy, they don't like that at all. So Nancy Pelosi is out there saying Trump was trying to get us killed, of course, which is nonsense. It's stupid. And anybody repeating it is dumb. But that's exactly what's happening. So the White House just said, all right, nobody gets to fly. That's it. You want security? We'll give you security. You're not flying, though. Nobody's flying. Not on the taxpayer dime, anyway. And again, people are just absolutely livid about this because I guess that's the world that we live in, that we want government employees to be able to do one thing and say another, and also be able to do it while spending your money, while complaining about how much money is actually being spent on some things. But go figure. So the president's still right, folks. He's still right, and it's still funny as all get up. All right, 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. Once again, you can send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. And I'm looking at do we have a date, or is it just late February? I'm looking at the North Korea meeting here. You were talking about Trump wearing the blue tie on TV, right? Yeah. He wore a red tie when he met with Kim Jong-un. So that means he's a Russian agent, right? That's the red tie is code for I'm a communist. So yeah, Donald Trump's a commie, according to the tie etiquette of everything. It doesn't have a date; just says late February is when they'll be meeting. I was hoping it actually had a date on there, but figured it would not, just because of confidentiality reasons and security reasons. But late February, he'll meet with Kim Jong-un again. All right. MNC News Time is 3:31. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online at mastersheatcool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
What's that?
The reason there wasn't music was because I accidentally copied the call letters on top of it, so I'm going to figure out how to get that back.
Oh, you screwed up, is what you're saying. Okay.
It's 467 for God?
267. Oh man, it's so funny. Two seven six. Sorry. Yes, a bunch of Democrats
Hey, John,
just went to Puerto Rico.
So I just accidentally dragged the call letters on top of the hour ender bumper music. So how do I get that back? So on the B bar, there's the yes. Yeah. I just need to get the hour ender bumper music. Okay. No. Yeah. I mean, alright. I guess I'll just back up and go then. That's fine. Thank you. I mean, you could have just told me how to do it and I would have did it. I just, like, is it in prod somewhere? Because I know how to put stuff into the beat bar. I just don't know where it is. Yeah. In prod. That's what I mean.
They put Arlie Ermy in Arlington today.
This is Joe. Hi, John. Yes, it is. Thank you. Woot.
He's finally where he belongs.
Steve Cinco wants to know what's up.
What's up, Steve?
Dean Barnes said he saw a story earlier that porn viewership is up in DC during this shutdown.
Guess they're not getting new work, huh? I would have thought it would have been higher when they were actually at work, to be perfectly honest with you.
What do you think?
Kevin Hart is in final talks to star in Monopoly movie. With so Jennifer Cassell, with her little tease on the article, says, could he play a thimble?
Oh, man. Monopoly movie?
I guess they're making a Monopoly movie, and he's in the talks for it. So the thimble comment, though, I mean, kudos. That's bravo right there. That's good
If
stuff.
somebody were to call me like, hey, Joe, you want to star in a Hollywood movie? Yeah, sure. What is it? Monopoly. No.
But again, if you're going to have Kevin Hart star in it, you know, maybe. All right.
It'd be funny. Then
That's just it. Like,
you got a lot of good talent for the Emoji movie. So.
Yeah. So he did the Hot Wings thing, which is like the most watched one, which I think will probably be beaten by the Gordon Ramsay one. That's getting ready to come up for episode 1 of the new season. And it's really funny. If you haven't watched, is it Hot Takes? Is that what it is? Where they eat the hot wings? Is it called Hot Takes or Hot Ones? It is Hot Ones, right? So you should totally watch it. It's amazing. But he did a second one where they played, I think it was it's like a version of Truth or Dare. So you either have to tell them the truth or you have to take a bite of the hot wing. And it's even more funny than his original interview. But he was there with the woman who stars in one of his latest movies. She's also a comic.
The movie centers on a boy from the game's modest Baltic Avenue on a quest.
Baltic Avenue?
Yeah. So like that's like the first.
So is it like an animated thing, or?
No, this is just, it was updated.
Interesting.
Yesterday. It's on IMDb.
I'm not in the Monopoly movie. That is not the movie I'm filming.
A trio of kids from Baltic Avenue discover that Charles Darrow, the inventor of Monopoly, hid a coded secret in the game that we've all been playing for generations, setting them off on an adventure through the streets of Atlantic City, racing through forgotten underground railroads, the boardwalk, and more, as they're pursued by a near-bankrupt casino owner and also competing to find Darrow's hidden fortune. Sounds really dumb.
While everybody's been running around and telling everybody that Netflix might lose 23% of their subscribers because they're raising their price $2, which is stupid. People grumble about it and then they will pay for it. Netflix hit 139 million subscribers. 139 million subscribers. At what, $13 a month?
You know what I should probably use more because we pay for it?
Deodorant?
No.
Sorry.
My family pays for Prime, but I don't ever use Prime Video because we pay for that.
You don't use Prime Video?
No, even though we have it. Like,
Dude, you should you should
know,
use it.
I realized that, and I just like, wait a minute. We pay
Bro.
a god-awful amount that you have to pay for Prime.
It's like $99 a year.
Yeah. It's just... When you,
But
yeah,
all of the
it's
benefits.
But it's a bulk payment. It's not.
No, they have a monthly option now, but you
Oh, they
pay
do?
more than $99. So if you pay the $99, you save. So it's really up to you. I don't remember what the monthly is, but I saw that, and I think this is the first year that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Because when we re-upped, because I think we were up in October or November, it had the option.
I think ours is like the first 2 years.
I will use that dollar amount within the first 2 months of the year,
I'm sure.
just with
So
everything that
we
we
pay
do.
for it, and I was like, wait a minute. I have access.
You haven't
to it.
seen The Man in the High Castle?
No.
What? Dude.
But we also have. I have Hulu. I have student Hulu through Spotify.
Yeah, but they don't have The Man in the High
I
Castle.
know.
The Man in the High Castle is worth $99 a year. It's that good.
I was just like, wait a minute. We pay for this, but I don't use it.
And music.
But I have. but I
And
have-
pantry. Yeah, Spotify is better. So if you're going to pay for Spotify, sure. Pantry's good. Get your groceries.
Yeah, but I think it's offered in this area.
Pantry is? Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
It's not offered.
Not you. I think you're thinking of the pickup service.
I don't know.
Yeah, like where they put in the lockers and you just go grab it or whatever. Yeah. So non-perishables you can get. Man, I use Prime all the time. Love it. Absolutely love it. They've got like the thing is that Prime has like 20 or 30 services, and most people know about 3 of them. So they've got to do a better job of marketing all the other crap that you can do with it.
I think they'd probably get better revenue, even though they're killing literally everything.
Yeah.
Amazon, nah.
And they probably don't market some of that stuff because they don't have the infrastructure to fully support it. So.
This is a long half-hour break because it was 9 minutes.
Dan Crenshaw to Beto O'Rourke on his teeth cleaning. You're not cool. You're weird. when a former Navy SEAL tells it like it is. Oh man. Yep, the Grand Tour is on Prime.
Casey Hendrickson.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. And do want to thank our sponsors, Second Amendment Arms and Range. And you can also mention me, get half off your range time just by going there. Of course, you got the storm coming in. And if you want to shoot, you probably want to be inside right now. So it's indoors. Rifle and pistol indoors, half off by mentioning me. How awesome is that? We got open lines coming up at 5 o'clock today. All right. Here's the thing here. Let's see. Casey, why should Nancy Pelosi be fearful? Afghanistan is a peaceful country. Yeah, of course. Casey, can Trump sign an executive order for OPM to stop paying House and Senate members while the government is shut down? No, he can't. But there are members of both parties that have introduced legislation that they would not take their pay. And kind of weird how that has not been voted on. Not that I'm aware of anyway. I haven't seen any of those bills be voted on the floor. But maybe I missed one. I certainly didn't see an outcome of the vote. So you got all of these members of Congress running around. And by the way, 2 of them are at least in the House. So if the Democratic-run House really is concerned about showing solidarity with the federal workers that are not getting a paycheck, then they should probably vote for one of those bills that says they're not going to take a paycheck until this whole thing happens. One of those individuals is Dan Crenshaw, who is the former Navy SEAL who is now in Washington, D.C. I am quickly becoming a fanboy of his. I freely admit this on my social media. So far, he has not had a misstep. And he's the guy with the patch on his eye. For those of you who don't know, when he takes the patch off, if you look at his eye, the fake eye that he has, instead of having an iris, it is the Navy SEALs logo. So it's just awesome. It's great. So anyway, he was talking about Beto O'Rourke. Remember Beto O'Rourke, also from Texas, guy that ran against Ted Cruz. How he did that weird tooth cleaning video, the live stream of getting his teeth cleaned. And so Representative Crenshaw says, if you get your teeth cleaned on Instagram Live, it shows that you're not just out of touch. That doesn't make you relatable or cool. It just makes you weird. Yeah, it does. And it's fallen flat. Nobody likes that video. Why he chose to do that, I don't know. It's like I said, it's one thing if you're going to get like a surgical procedure, and yeah, live stream that. Years ago when I had my LASIK, I wanted to live stream that, and that was at the infancy of live stream, and you didn't really quite know how to do it. And there was really like 2 websites who did it. Facebook didn't do it yet. And I don't even think YouTube had the live streaming capability at that point in time. Yeah, it was the what was that other place that was huge forever? I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank. I'm tired today, but there's like 2 websites who did it, right? And so I was like, you know what, you should get like a really up close view of my eyeball, why they do this, and just stream that out. And I think for no other reason, not for shock value, but I think people are just interested in what goes into a LASIK procedure because nobody really knows, right? And you hear things like, oh, it's all laser, or you cut the lens, or what have you. And I'm very weird about my eyes. And so when they told me that they were going to cut the lens, I was very spooked. So it would have been interesting to stream something like that. But streaming your teeth cleaning, it's just odd and very, very, very strange. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595953. And again, you can also send me a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Arlie Ermy, Gunny, was finally laid to rest at Arlington today. So he finally got to go to his final resting place in Arlington National Cemetery, where he belongs. And so got to do his final salutes. So the family got to do their final salutes, I should say. And yeah, we're going to miss him. That was a tough one. I don't get bummed too much about celebrity deaths, but that one I was pretty bummed about. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Crenshaw, we did that. Okay, what else do we have here? So China, this is interesting regarding China. There is a rumor, okay? Now, there's been some negotiations and things like that with China as of late. Now, there is a rumor that China's trade imbalances might be dealt with here soon. And in a positive way. Now, we've been kind of covering this past couple of weeks. China's once again kind of moving back to where we want them to move as a result of, well, the U.S. is just totally winning this trade war. If you want to call it a trade war, it's not really a trade war, but people are saying, oh, it's officially a trade war. It's not. But they're moving a little bit more in our direction. And we've got some updates on that coming up next on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana.
The knife guy who dropped off his knife on Tuesday.
Yeah.
He just called and asked, make sure you got it.
Yep, I got it.
He's like, yeah, he did. It's in his lineup for working.
Swizzle dizzle rizzle.
Don't know if he's working on it yet or not.
This weekend.
And he got it. So.
Yep, this weekend. It's all on the agenda. I feel like I was going somewhere with the Crenshaw thing, but I don't remember where I was going with it.
I remember.
And
I mean, it's like, it kind of reminds me of the CBS guy who streamed his colonoscopy, but that's an entirely separate thing because he was trying to be like, you should do this. This is the thing that will make sure you don't die from cancer.
Look at the polyps in my butt.
So Thermodyne when you come back?
Thermodyne. Data bunker. Oh, I was reading text messages is what I was doing. How the heck did I get off on that tangent? Because it's Friday, and I haven't slept in 2 days. That's why.
Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey?
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Where at?
My name is Dave Titus with International RV in Elkhart, Indiana. You know, one of the things that we see people that are really concerned with is whether they can actually afford an RV or not. They see these big things going down the road, and oh my gosh, I could never have one of those. And we have units that start at around $100 a month. It's all about the fun, sitting around the campfire.
Thanks for the thumbs up. What the heck did I just throw away?
Taking the stroll
And
having that private.
All right.
Really didn't cost you hardly any money, but you had a great time. We'll do any type of service warranty repair, whether it be from a small appliance repair, cabinets rework, plumbing,
I will
air
pass that on.
conditioning, all the way up to full collisions, new roofs, new slide outs. There's absolutely nothing associated with an RV that we can't fix. In my service department, could probably easily
State police are doing an escort on the bypass.
An escort? Bus?
The bypass on Highway 19 and
You didn't really say they were saying that they're an escort going eastbound on the bypass.
Is there a big
just
game?
past Elm, and they're slowing down traffic, obviously.
Okay.
So,
Well, I've got to get.
so they're probably coming close up to 19.
Alrighty.
Right about now.
That's when you call Graver Customer Modeling.
So that's it. So there's not an actual.
So that's where?
Eastbound bypass. They just passed Pelham. Should be coming up on 19 pretty soon, and all that. They're doing that.
Heading towards 19.
Graver Customer Modeling works with hiring vendors, materials, and craftsmen to complete truly custom projects. When you see
They're an escort. State police.
the Graver team,
In Elkhart.
whether you're
Escort.
a 100-year-old farmer,
Slowing down traffic.
State police.
20 miles an hour.
20 miles an hour.
Well, everyone goes 75 there, and it's down to 55. So,
call
which
them
is
Graver
legally
Modeling
10 miles under the
Customer
speed
Modeling.
limit.
Online at gravercustomermodeling.com.
State police used to be on the bypass every night pulling people over.
Right.
Now they're not anymore.
Is the ATF still processing NICs? I don't know if they're processing NICs or not.
Many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers, for smokers, to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition.
Yeah, man.
If you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative. To
I'm looking up the NICs
Make
thing.
the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning: this
Is,
product contains nicotine.
Shanna, SHANNA.
Save this
Your
weekend
wife?
at Market
Yes.
Supermarkets.
Why?
It's 20%
Judy Clark
off
said that it's
frozen
hilarious.
food
They're calling it
Saturday
Storm
only.
Harper,
Use your
and she
advantage code for
suggests.
20% off hundreds of items listed in our weekly ad. Stop
Didn't
by
suggest it.
this 20% off frozen foods
That's
and
what happened.
Sunday, you
Ron
select
does
items
also
from
now
next
on
week's
here.
ad and this week's ad for
Yeah.
double ad savings. Double ad savings valid Sunday only. Save 20% off frozen foods Saturday and select double ad savings Sunday during the big winter sale weekend. Only at your neighborhood market.
Eric says that according to his FFL, his new 9 mil is being held up in
All the
paperwork.
time
So.
on 95.3
Okay.
NBC.com. From News Talk 95.3 Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Hey, good afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. I got to tell you about Data Bunker, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the deal. Write down this website because I want you to go check this out. I know that I can tell you about a Data Bunker, and everybody who's bought a Data Bunker has been super stoked about it, just like me, because it's amazing. However, you should watch them try and destroy this thing, okay? Go to databunker1.com, databunker and the number 1.com. This is a black box, okay? It is made by a company who makes black boxes for trains and planes, and they've been doing this forever. So it is a literal black box, but it is scaled down for personal use. Now, this is a great way for you to organize your important documents or to protect your important documents should a disaster happen, whether that be a house fire, a flood, maybe a tornado, or even a nuclear EMP, any of that stuff, right? So the Data Bunker is built to protect your files in the event of any of that happening, and much more. I've thought about this quite a bit, and when we talk with some people about this, I had a listener come up to me recently, say they bought a few of them, and if you pass away, and maybe you handle all of the documents and the paperwork and all of that stuff, it could be a daunting thing to try and get through all of that stuff if you're the next of kin, and try and organize all of that and maybe gain access to the things that you don't have access to. And little things like just being able to log into social media, being able to deactivate websites that they might have, or any of that stuff. And you can actually put all of that stuff in one spot right here. Now, the Data Bunker is TSA approved for travel. Okay, so if you are a government contractor or you have proprietary technology that you want to protect and don't want to put it in the cloud because putting it in the cloud would be a stupid idea, you can get a Data Bunker and you can take it right on the airplane with you. You don't ever have to separate yourself from it. It goes right into a briefcase. It really is convenient, and it will protect your data and your files, your critical data, better than anything else on the planet. Go to databunker1.com. That's databunker and the number 1.com. Don't forget to use my coupon code. Just put Casey in there. You save yourself some money. All right. What do we have here? Okay, so China has offered a path to eliminate U.S. trade imbalances, according to Bloomberg. And China has offered to go on a 6-year buying spree to ramp up imports from the United States in a move that would reconfigure the relationship between the world's two largest economies, according to officials familiar with the negotiations. The increased good imports from the U.S., they would do this by a combined value of more than $1 trillion over that period. That's 6 years. So China is basically saying, okay, we will buy $1 trillion of your stuff over the next 6 years, and we'll import all of that into China. So now there's probably a bunch of you people that are licking your lips going, hey, wait a minute, hold on a second. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it is. China would seek to reduce its trade surplus, which last year stood at $323 billion. They want to get it down to zero by 2024, according to people who are familiar with this. The officials asked not to be named. This is all an anonymous source in Bloomberg. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. Now, the offer made during talks in Beijing earlier this month was met with skepticism by U.S. negotiators who nonetheless asked the Chinese to do even better, demanding that the imbalance be cleared in the next 2 years. Economists have studied the trade relationship, argue that it would be hard to eliminate the gap, which they say is sustained in large part by U.S. demand for Chinese products. This is true. But hey, can't hurt to go ahead and negotiate, especially if you're the United States and you're negotiating from a position of power, which they are. They are absolutely negotiating from a position of power. U.S. stocks extended gains, and the dollar rose following the news. The S&P 500 index rallied, climbing 1.3%, heading for its fourth weekly advance, while the dollar traded at session highs. Now, again, throughout this whole trade thing with China in the past 2 years, every time they have tried to assert themselves, they have acquiesced every time. And every time we have made a move against China, they have acquiesced. We have won this thing every step of the way. So far, so good. And it might be a little ambitious to say that, all right, they're going to import $1 trillion worth of stuff and totally wipe out the trade deficit by 2024. Probably not going to happen. But if they start importing $1 trillion worth of American merchandise into China, even if the trade deficit doesn't get erased, I mean, that is still good news for the economy. That means American companies are exporting stuff to China, which is one of the largest consumer markets in the entire world. And that can benefit a lot of people. It can really be an awesome thing for our economy. So keep an eye on this. Again, nothing's done yet, but keep an eye on it just in case this is one of those things that ends up happening, because that would be absolutely great for the country. Some of the text messages here. What do we have here? Double murderer found guilty in Lafayette last Friday. A legal immigrant article says that good news won't be deported. Bad news, spend the rest of life in prison. Is that what the article actually says? The good news won't be deported, but the bad news is he spends the rest of his life in prison. Wow. Okay. So it's good that he won't be deported. All right, if you say so. Somebody who's looking at the live stream, the individual who brought me the South Bend Chocolate Company care package earlier, I should say at the end of last year, to do the taste test with, it had a hoodie in it. And this hoodie actually, coincidentally, happens to be MNC blue and just lined up that way. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but is really nice. The first day that I've worn it, I actually haven't worn it yet, and I've been very comfortable with it today. Had a meeting, and I figured it might be best if I didn't go into the meeting with Ronald Reagan holding an RPG. Just thought it might be just in case. All right. Some meetings you can go into like that. Some meetings you can't. So I wore this one instead. And it's been very comfortable, very warm. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And they've seen it on the live stream. They say it looks good. Let's see. My uncle, who's now deceased, wanted to watch his double knee replacement while it was happening, and the surgeon wouldn't let him. Yeah, no, I can see that. I've had some stuff done where I wanted to see it too. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't record it. Liability issues. Something goes wrong. Now there's video evidence that they did it, as opposed to arguing that it wasn't anything that they could control. So yeah, I could see that, but it would be really neat. But it's nice when you get to see that stuff on documentaries and stuff. It's just that I like to see that stuff on me. Eastbound bypass in Elkhart. I guess somebody said the state police are escorting something over there. We don't know exactly what it is. And that has slowed traffic down. So if you're on the bypass going eastbound in Elkhart, they were, what, around 19? Last time we heard, they're going to pass that by now, though. So, yeah. So they just look for, eastbound on the bypass. The police are escorting something over there, and it's slowing some stuff down. So if you can avoid it, do so, or give yourself some extra time to get wherever it is you are going. 95.3 MNC and Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill in Mishawaka present the Big Game Giveaway, where you can win a $200 catering package from Monterey and powered recliner from Furniture Land of Goshen. That is valued at $950, by the way. all in time for the biggest game of the year. Now, the catering package from Monterey includes options of a taco bar, a fajita bar, or a taco salad bar with chips, salsa, and sides. Now, to enter for a chance to win, here's what you got to do. This is it. Pick up your phone if safe and legal to do so. Text the word BIG right now to 45364. Again, text the word BIG as in big game. Text the word BIG right now to 45364. Message and data rates do apply. And has the smell of that food been getting to you? No, a little bit. It's been getting to you. I wasn't exactly hungry, but I've got Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill's Casey Special Breakfast, and oh boy.
That wasn't clear.
It was not. That was not clear. It was not clear. I just looked down and said, "Uh-oh, I got to bounce." So's I did.
It's all right.
Oh, I know it's all right. I'll be right back. I get you to warm up my coffee.
Bacon wrapped chocolate. That does not sound right.
Oh, bacon wrapped chocolate is good. Have you ever had chocolate covered bacon?
President and Kim was announced for the
Have you?
end of February. In a statement, White
It's better with dark chocolate.
Sarah Sanders saying
It sounds
President
weird.
looks
Okay,
forward
it sounds
to
weird.
Yeah, it does.
Chairman Kim
But
at a place to be
the
announced at a later date.
juxtaposition of the super
Vietnam,
salty,
Thailand, and
crispy
even
bacon,
Hawaii
and then a
all
chocolate
been floated as
that's sweet.
options. Since last year's summit in
Perfect.
Singapore, Pyongyang has not
Trust
fulfilled
me.
its promises.
I'll take your word for it. How's that?
John, Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is accusing the White House of leaking information about her planned congressional trip to Afghanistan by commercial.
Michiana's news channel.
Jared Halpern is live at Capitol Hill.
The day after President Trump canceled a military jet scheduled to fly House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other members of Congress to Afghanistan, the Speaker's office accused the administration of leaking details of commercial travel as well.
We never give advance notice of going into a battle area. We just never do.
Pelosi says the president is acting irresponsibly. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders calls the accusation outrageous.
The reason he didn't want her to go is because he's trying to protect American citizens.
Can I get the name, the date again one more time?
Earlier this week, Pelosi asked the president to reschedule the State of the Union speech until
All
government
right. And the name of the funeral home one more time?
The U.S. stock index is higher today, helped by news China is greedy to buy $1 trillion worth
All
of
right.
U.S. goods. Dow up 346, the S&P gained 36, with the Nasdaq 73 points higher. This is Fox News.
All right, I will pass that on to the people who need to get that out there.
Michiana's breaking news.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Michiana's news channel.
The Vietnam Traveling Well is coming to South Bend in
The wall?
September.
And online at 95.
Well.
The traveling Vietnam, whatever, is coming to South Bend.
It's the wall.
September 19th, 22nd, the St. Joseph Cemetery on Pining Grant. Just got that call.
That's cool.
We're talking a low, likely below zero early on.
Oh man, somebody sent me a link.
But again, what if the air
Somebody sent me a link
Link to what?
to the Associated Press. I don't know who sent it, but thank you for sending it. Excuse me. I am burpy today. All right. From Sarah Burnett.
Crews already out pre-treating main roads. They'll have 20 plows in operation tonight. More than 50 crews done tomorrow. Cleanup is done. The winter storm forecast also having an effect on Amtrak. Flights canceled for Saturday and
Probably
Sunday.
should call John and
Trains
tell
going
him
from
that.
Chicago to New York and Washington, D.C.
Was Crowder back? I didn't see if he was back or not.
A Claypool woman arrested on child exploitation and child pornography charges. 38-year-old Rosalind Burkhardt was arrested Thursday after the Indiana State Police Crimes Against Children
Suppose I could
Task
write it up
Force
to him.
spent 7
Nah.
months investigating after receiving a
I'll do
tip
it
from the
later.
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. A search of a home on North
September.
Rebecca Street led the police arresting
Yeah, plenty of
Burkhardt
time.
on 2 felony charges.
It's only
of
9
child
months away, guys.
and 2 felony charges of possession of child
Oh,
pornography.
9 months.
We'll forget about it, and then it'll show up again.
And a local nurse is a hero after she stopped a car crash and performed CPR on one of the people involved. ABC 57 News reports that Nicole
The
Phillips
shirt
saw
involves
the driver
whipped
crash
cream.
into a house on
What
Woodward
involves
East on
whipped
Wednesday
cream?
morning and jumped into action. She's a nurse.
Anything awesome?
Hospital. She found the driver unconscious and performed CPR until emergency crews arrived. The 30-year-old driver still listed in
I go skydiving with a two-fisted whipped cream dealio.
This weekend and stop into the prime table for a delicious hot home cooked meal before or after you go.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialist, first warning
On the DL like he did. Okay, why was he gone? I've seen some of his pictures on Instagram. It looks like he gained some weight. But why was Crowder gone? Last I heard, it was like a medical leave, but
snowy and windy with a high of only 24.
the biggest health scare I've had is throat polyps, which you sometimes need surgery for. In fact, Tom Likas, most people know Tom Likas. They know his voice when they hear it, and his voice is the way that it is because he was too scared to get the polyps removed from his throat, because he used to sound like a normal radio guy.
All day long. So keep it here on 95.3 MNC,
your breaking news and weather station.
News powered by Polymax at 4 Lakes. Visit Wednesdays for trivia.
He was sick and stressed out.
Tuesdays through Saturdays. Come taste what it means to make American food great again.
Polymax at 4 Lakes. Locally raised meats, made to order American classics.
Is that an excuse? Like, if it is, I'm going to use it. So.
Slow smoked ribs, double bacon, double cheeseburgers, wings, and a full bar to put the finishing touches on your visit. Just a short drive from anywhere in
I
Michigan.
didn't hear you. Everybody.
No one's going to give you
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's,
And we are open to the public.
I get that.
Daily specials today. Visit Tuesdays through Saturdays to taste what it means to make American food great again.
Maybe it's the cold winter ride you take.
Man, I can never name my daughter Stella.
Maybe it's the first
Just for the fact of that. Just because of that, I could never name them Stella.
when you pull in that old familiar driveway.
Ever.
Maybe it's the ones you miss dearly and wish you could hug just one more time.
You guys see that Sony dropped R. Kelly? Amid new and concerning allegations of sexual impropriety. You mean stuff going back to 1998? You didn't care about that all this time, but going back to 1998, didn't care. All of a sudden, Me Too movement happens, and Sony's like, yeah, we're going to back off of this.
But is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped.
He was working 14, 16 hours a day, every day.
And found Ray,
Well, I've been doing that since I got out of the military, so
for under 27.
guess I'm going to pop soon.
Almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-597-0315. That's 800-597-0315. 800-597-0315. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Oh, Bar Raffaelli put bikini shots up for a 10-year challenge. Talk about low-hanging fruit.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Do want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle, Indiana. And if you mention me, get half off your range time. I don't know if they have any spots available for this Sunday's basic handgun course. If you want to give them a call and find out, they'll probably be able to slip you in. You go to secondamendmentarms.net for more information about that. So I want to thank whoever this was in the texting. They sent me a text with a link to an Associated Press article. It was written by Saren Burnett. Okay. And you've heard what I have said about this particular subject many, many, many times. Okay. I just want you to go into this. Look for things that I read to you that might sound like things I've been telling you for months. Okay. So Sarah Burnett, Associated Press. Could Dems 2020 nominee be someone you've never heard of? We ready? At 36, Pete Buttigieg is just over the minimum age required to be president of the United States. Outside South Bend, Indiana, the Rust Belt community, where he's been mayor since age 29, few people know his name. Those who know it struggle to pronounce it. It's Buttigieg. Okay. None of that has deterred Buttigieg, a Democrat, Rhodes Scholar, and Navy veteran known to most people as Mayor Pete, from contemplating a 2020 presidential bid against a crowd of much better-known lawmakers with more experience and more money. Actually, his PAC does pretty darn good. He's among a number of potential candidates who believe the 2016 and 2018 election showed that voters are looking for fresh faces and that the old rules of politics in which lawmakers toil for years in state houses or in Congress before aspiring to higher office may no longer apply. They're benefiting from Democrats' fears about running another member of the party's old guard against President Donald Trump in 2020. The group includes Julian Castro, the 44-year-old former San Antonio mayor. He's got no chance. Tulsi Gabbard, who, if the Democratic Party wanted to normalize themselves and be taken seriously again, they would seriously consider Gabbard. 37-year-old congresswoman from Hawaii. She's a combat veteran. Common sense most of the time. Disagree with her on a lot of stuff, but I like her personally. Let's see. She's already announced that she's running, by the way. So naturally, she's being attacked from both sides. Yet to decide is perhaps the biggest breakout star of the midterm election, former three-term Representative Beto O'Rourke, 46 years old, who ran a tougher-than-expected race against Senator Ted Cruz, which is interesting because the race wasn't nearly as close as I was telling everybody it was going to be. I should say that race wasn't nearly as close as the media was saying, and that's what I had told everybody. So now they're saying, oh, Beto O'Rourke ran a tougher-than-expected campaign against Ted Cruz. No, he actually lost by a lot more than you said he was going to lose. So I just want to throw that out there. They're spinning things around. Then there's Representative Eric Swalwell of California, People's Republic of. He's done. Because all you have to do is play a video of him going into convulsions and basically crying on Tucker Carlson, and that's it. It's over. It's finished. He's a 38-year-old Iowa native, has also been spending time in the state with the nation's first caucuses. He's got no chance. They would provide several potential firsts in what's already shaping up to be an unusually diverse field. Castro could become the first Latino to win his party's nomination, while Buttigieg, who married his husband last year, by the way, kudos to waiting. How many paragraphs do they wait here? 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th paragraph, they mention he's gay. So outside of the top 3, I'm gonna say, you know, for the Associated Press, I expected them to put gay veteran in the first paragraph of the article. So they waited for 5 paragraphs in. So I'll give them some kudos and some credit there. And not because I think it should be buried. It's just that usually when you're trying to write a puff piece to go ahead and promote somebody, and that's what this is, you put all of the qualities you want to promote at the very beginning of this thing. And the Associated Press left a couple of things for later on in the article. So good for them. He would be the first openly gay nominee from a major political party. Now, what I think is interesting is that they're like, this is unusually diverse. Did you see the Republican primary field? Did you see that? Because that was the most diverse field we'd ever seen. And now, all of a sudden, the Democrats are like, yeah, we got to put a bunch of diverse people up there because it didn't look very good to have us have a couple of old white people floating around with that one young guy from Baltimore that nobody liked. I think most people are thinking, why not? They think all of the rules have been broken, that anybody can run, said Buttigieg, who has said that he'll announce his decision on whether to run for president soon. I think some of the rules have been broken, but there's only one way to find out which ones. There's no question that these relative newcomers face extremely long odds running in a field that could include heavyweights like former Vice President Joe Biden and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Also in the mix are more than a half dozen U.S. senators. Now, again, there's a poll that came out that said liberals and left-leaning people in the center like Joe Biden today, like 70-some-odd%, right? Joe Biden is still the guy that has been saying things that Donald Trump has said that they all call racist, but he's been doing it his entire political career. It's the big knock on Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the smartest guy in the room, and then he says some unbelievably stupid thing, and then everybody kind of turns on him. Now, the question is, has the atmosphere changed enough that he can get away with it? But I honestly think that the Democrats would be doing themselves a disservice to put Joe Biden up, because they have been complaining about Donald Trump's tone this entire time. And if you put a guy up there whose tone is arguably more bigoted and vitriolic than Trump, you've kind of, just basically thrown out the previous couple of years of your setup. You tossed it out into the trash. If you look at Bernie Sanders' wife is in the midst of a giant fraud investigation. Okay, she stole a ton of money from the college that she was managing. And you've got all of these sexual harassment allegations from his campaign that he allegedly ignored, even though he was made aware of. And now he's apologizing for those profusely. So there's some issues there. Oh, and he's really old. He just is. And the vast majority of the country, contrary to what the media would like you to believe, the vast majority of the country understands that socialism and communism are bad. Okay, so Bernie Sanders is always going to have an uphill battle, as likable as the guy might be personally. Also in the mix are more than a half dozen other U.S. senators. But again, this is so early. We don't know who's actually going to be able to make an announcement, but it's kind of interesting. Mayor Buttigieg is in this thing. Critics question whether people such as Buttigieg and Castro are entirely serious or whether they're trying to position themselves for a cabinet position or maybe just trying to sell more of their books. You could argue that Buttigieg only wrote a book so that way he could run. That's what happens all the time. Obama did it. Others did it. You put the book out and then you run for office and then people go back and buy your book and look at your book and hopefully you gain some notoriety that way. And he might, to say that Mayor Buttigieg is just jockeying for a cabinet position is a little disingenuous because there's no doubt that he would want something more than that. But what's wrong with saying, and I would be okay with getting a cabinet position out of this thing and building notoriety? There's nothing wrong with that. And I wouldn't admonish him or anybody else for having that type of a mentality going into this. He should have that. It's a long shot. Not a lot of people know him, but I've told you before, he's the mold that the Democrats want. Okay. He's everything that they want to present themselves as. And you can't ignore that. 2018 election helped break the mold as a diverse group of hopefuls, many running for their first political office, fueled Democrats' take back of the House, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll get a little bit more on this coming up on Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Michiana's news channel is everywhere. The top news and issues on Facebook and on Twitter at 95.3.
It is not just you, Steve. It is a never-ending cycle now.
You see this?
What?
Your breaking news and weather station.
Did you see what I posted?
A winter storm warning is in effect.
Hold on, I gotta pull it up because I want to accurately quote it.
Where is it?
It's on my Facebook page. Hold on a second.
I don't follow you.
Oh, that's stupid. You should follow me on Facebook. I have the best page ever. The only way I can make the page better is if I posted more women with guns, which I can't do because I'm told that makes the demo get angry or something. All right, so where is? Come on. That is damn cubes. Is he inside? Is he outside? On December 17th, 1903. Okay. The Wright brothers flew 852 feet, right? Historic moment.
Right.
That is 852 feet farther than Nancy Pelosi has flown in January. It is the most genius meme. I didn't make it, but God bless whoever did.
Video's on blurry. Well, that's not our fault.
Yo, it's on you,
your
man.
Fault. Your bandwidth is too short.
One of the things that we see people is whether they can actually afford an RV or not. They see these things going down the road, and oh my gosh, I could
Speed even says that was his.
All right.
Hey, good job.
Blackie in the sales department says Tim has left, he's leaving, and no one is going to be babysitting the coffee machine to make sure you turn it off. So
Okay.
make sure to turn it off afterwards so you don't burn down the building.
Okay.
I have news. I have actual news story. What? The traveling walls coming to South Bend in September. Just got the call.
Wait, the border wall?
No, the Vietnam.
Okay.
The memorial wall.
That comes every year. If it was a traveling border wall, that would be cool.
No, but did you get the notice from the Trump campaign today? That they're sending Schumer and other Democrats bricks?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see that?
I did.
2 miles north of the bypass on Highway 19.
It's good.
Are you going to eat this mild salsa?
No, you can take it.
Oh, can I?
Yeah. You're just stealing from my wife, dude. You're not stealing.
Oh,
from me.
no, I don't want it then.
I mean,
to rewrite Medicare Part B.
No, I don't want to take her food.
For America's sickest seniors in
dude,
serious jeopardy.
like,
Well, there's 2 other kinds of salsa.
I don't know. She's on some diet thing again, so she may not even eat it.
I heard this is
like
not
socialized healthcare schemes
why I would eat it.
with government price
Because,
fixing.
I've only lost 60 pounds in the past.
If Congress doesn't block this dangerous plan, seniors'
See,
access
I like
to new
chunky salsa.
treatments
Yeah, I don't either.
reduced.
I'm not a big chunky salsa dude.
Would be delayed.
I was having trouble a little bit earlier, Kelly, but I don't know if that's just Wi-Fi or it's actually Discord.
All right, well, let me check. I haven't logged into Discord today.
It's a little slow.
Don't forget to turn off the coffee.
What?
The coffee machine. Don't forget to turn it off.
It's a Keurig, John. It'll be fine.
Well, whatever.
Learn more at rejectpricecontrols.org. Paid for by the American Conservative.
All right, so I'm in Discord now.
What does building a better bank look
slow,
like?
but I wouldn't say it's
I feel like everything has been slow lately. I think there's something going on with local networks or something.
Where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet? For consumers,
I don't know,
offered
dude.
by Capital One and member FDIC.
I don't know.
Available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
If it happens today, we're talking about it in the morning. We start at 5. Traffic and weather 10 minutes on the 6s. News Talk 95.3
Man, I am so stoked that this song played today. Because you know what's back this week, right? Season 2 of The Punisher. Oh, yeah. It's a theme song for The Punisher on Netflix, which, by the way, is amazing. See, when Marvel can do things right and do things the way that they're supposed to be done, it's not a lot that gets in their way. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that they do, they can't really do what they do in the comic books because of the ratings and the audience they're trying to get to, and it just doesn't always work. But occasionally, when you get the free reign to make something the way that the comic book is actually written, then you get a home run. All right, 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. Watch, you can totally ruin it this year. All right. So we're talking about the Associated Press article here. Somebody sent it to me today. Appreciate that. Associated Press has an article in there on could the Dems 2020 nominee be somebody you've never heard of? And of course, in there, it's another Pete Buttigieg puff piece saying he's amazing, he's awesome. Oh, by the way, he's gay, veteran, and all of that stuff. And, the Associated Press, by the way, this piece is less, please take us with you when you get into the White House, as the Politico articles have been. The Politico articles about Buttigieg seem very much like they're written by his friends. I don't know that they are. I'm just saying they very much, with the exception of the one that said he had PTSD or insinuated it, because he doesn't. It's still pretty interesting to kind of see how the media is portraying him. Frequently, you don't get these puff pieces for Republican candidates that are potential candidates. They do the whole, oh, so-and-so might be a potential candidate. They're considering, here's the field, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but in their political career, they've had this controversial thing that happened 10 years ago. That's typically how it goes with Republican candidates. And or their great-grandfather said something praisingly of Mussolini once. And you can't have that. So Buttigieg raised his national profile when he left his day job to serve as a lieutenant with the Navy Reserve in Afghanistan in 2014. And again, with an unsuccessful 2017 bid for the Democratic National Committee chairman. President Barack Obama mentioned him post-2016 as a politician to watch. And by the way, this is the thing that I think a lot of you have to realize, okay? Because tons of people, even people that I know in Indianapolis politics, they're like, hey, nobody knows who he is. Okay, but that doesn't mean anything anymore, right? It's real easy to get famous nowadays, right? It used to take a long time. You can get famous overnight. All Pete Buttigieg has to have is one moment, and he can get famous, okay? We've seen it. We already know it can happen with people that nobody knows with Barack Obama. So we already know that is a possibility. So you got to throw that old mindset out. But if you look at the people that are praising Pete Buttigieg. These are powerhouses within the Democratic Party. And those are the people that are going to give the nod to whoever they think is going to be the best person. And if we get into this point where we start getting the official announcements or leading up to where the serious money and people are seriously starting to strategize with the planning committees and things like that. And if there is a Barack Obama going, he's the dude. If there is a Schumer going, he's the dude. If you've got those people, Carville, he's the dude. That's where it's going to go. That is entirely where it's going to go. There's nobody else really who is the next up for the Democratic Party, right? So we've known for a while that Hillary was the next up. So Hillary was a foregone conclusion that she was going to be a candidate. She set it up that way. So we already knew that. But there isn't that dynamic right now. There isn't it's going to be Joe Biden or anything like that. Right now, it's very open. So the Democrats haven't figured out who they're going to put up there. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying he's going to be the guy. I'm just telling you he has a better shot than a lot of you think he has. And whether or not he gets the nomination or not, his profile is going to be raised in the next year or two. And that is going to happen as a result of this entire process, whether that is he's going to take a major role with the party or on a campaign, or if he is going to get a cabinet position, or if he's going to be the candidate or the nominee. We don't know exactly where that's going to go, but there's a lot of power players in the Democratic Party who are pushing him. And that's all he needs. And then to not screw up. And if he doesn't screw up and he's got the right people behind him, that money's going to come. That notoriety is going to come. Real easy to get famous at all these days, let alone in politics. So it'd be real interesting to kind of see what ends up happening here. But there's not a lot of other people that are considered contenders for the Democratic Party right now that are having puff pieces about them written by Politico and the Associated Press and are going on all of the nightly shows, having very prominent members of the party going, yep, that's you got to keep an eye on this person. We'll take them under the wing and kind of tutor them and pay attention to this individual. There's not a lot of people that are getting that. You could argue that Kamala Harris is out there. She's getting that. And I've said that Kamala Harris would be a great pick for the Democratic Party as well. Not because I think she's awesome, but because she's a female and she's black. So you've got that immediate contrast with old white guy Trump, right? So she's out there doing all the likability things. She's dancing on these videos now on Colbert and showing that she has a personality and she can dance and all of that stuff. And that's typically what they do to humanize a politician. It's the same thing with Obama. Remember, Obama danced and sang. You also had Bill Clinton, who did the saxophone. Remember that? So they do this to humanize and make them likable and relatable and to show that they're not all stuffy politicians. So there's a lot that's happening right now. But Pete Buttigieg is getting a bigger push than I think a lot of people are giving him credit for. And it is still really early. You might run into a bunch of people who will say, yep, he's too young. We're not going to do it. Not yet. So because of his age, we're going to push somebody a little bit older because he will have his day. Now, that might very well happen. We will see, because that has happened in the past. That has happened to Rubio. It has happened to Mitt Romney. It has happened to others. So it could very well happen on the Democratic side with Pete Buttigieg as well. But keep an eye on this, because I'm telling you, he's getting a bigger push than people think he's getting. So thank you for the link. I do appreciate it. And I've posted this on the Facebook page. So if you want to go to facebook.com/Casey the host, you can not only watch the live stream, but you can actually see the comments about Pete Buttigieg. Oh, apparently the article made its way to Drudge now, too. So the Associated Press's article about Pete Buttigieg is on the Drudge Report. So let's see. Somebody says Christians will not vote for Pete. Doesn't mean anything. That doesn't matter. And I'm not sure that that's true. You may not win the evangelical vote, but that doesn't mean you're not going to win the Christian vote. And they are different, ladies and gentlemen. And, people are saying, oh, the same guy can't get South Bend under control and that sort of thing. Yeah, but none of that matters, folks. You got to understand, the record doesn't matter, okay? The record doesn't matter. If you look at his administration, all he has to do is go, unemployment was here when I took over and it was down here when I left. Therefore, things got better. It could have nothing to do with him. It could have nothing to do with his administration. It could just be the natural ebb and flow of the economy, but he will get credit for it. Why? Because he's the mayor. And because he's the mayor, he will get credit for that. And that, right or wrong, that's how it works. And look at Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke has accomplished nothing. Okay? Nothing. And look at the push that he got. And I told you before, that is a trial run, taking a similar personality in a similar situation to what Pete Buttigieg would have and testing strategies. It's a proving ground. That whole thing was a proving ground. And we got an opportunity to go ahead and see exactly how they were going to push that strategy. And, you know, yeah, perhaps they got a little bit closer than they were expecting to get at the outset of that thing. But that race ultimately ended up, I was proven right on it. It wasn't as close as the media was trying to tell you it was in the days leading into that particular election. All right, folks, I want to tell you about Cohen Financial Group. So Cohen Financial Group has been doing my taxes for several years now. They do more than my taxes, but, you know, it's tax time, and I know a lot of people are thinking about that. They're trying to figure out what to do with the new tax laws. A lot of the stuff that wasn't actually in effect last year is now in effect, and you've got to take that into account going forward. And when you go to prepare your taxes this year, you know, the way you sat down and you did your write-offs and stuff like that, you probably don't even need to do any of that anymore. But you're going to need somebody to be able to look at it and look at the standard deductions, look at the child tax credits that you get now that are totally different. And you're going to need an expert to kind of guide you through that to make sure you don't make a major mistake. Go to Cohen Financial Group. It was funny. I was at a meeting today with Impress Jewelry Creations, and one of the ladies there was mentioning how awesome her insurance company was. And she was talking about how they took care of her when she had an incident that happened. And it was just one of those casual conversations that we were having. And a little bit later on, I mentioned that I produced Wise Money, which is done by Cohen Financial Group here on Saturdays on 95.3 MNC. She goes, those are my insurance people. I love them. They treated me so great. Because Cohen Financial Group doesn't just do your taxes. They do insurance, financial planning, all of this. So your entire financial picture, okay? All of the stuff that involves your finances in your life, retirement, estate planning, making sure that your kids have college money, all of that is handled at Cohen Financial Group. So go to Corhorn.com, Korhorn, Corhorn.com. Check them out. And then come on out Thursday next week. I'm going to be broadcasting my show live. That is the 24th, Thursday next week, at the grand reopening of their Niles office right across the street from the Prime Table. And you get to meet a lot of them over there. All right, Corhorn.com. Don't forget to let them know that I sent you. MNC News Time is 4:31. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online at mastersheatpool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
Was that?
Their Mix 106 shirts.
Well, Mix 106 shirts don't help me at all.
No.
Guess what radio station has never had shirts of their own to give out to listeners? Just saying.
7 inches expected in Michiana, perhaps more in southwest Michigan. An ABC 57 meteorologist Tom Coon says after the snow stops, cold temperatures will settle in, blowing and drifting snow.
South
Bend man is 1 of 6, arrested on drugs and weapons charges.
Ow. Ow. Shame on you. Come on. You're going to get me in trouble.
Working together to take 21-year-old Tazon Greeley into custody.
That's literally what it's been for like the past 5 minutes.
What?
Those jokes.
The other 5 people involved are
I'm not surprised. Can't talk about Mayor Buttigieg without getting all the gay jokes.
I'm not saying anything too offensive, so I'm not taking them out. They're on watch.
They're on watch. Careful, the new admin is watching you all.
They have settings to blink slowly, fast, or put out a solid light. The school district bought 400 of them for 90 cents each.
Woo. Damn, it's got the chills.
Shoulder of their backpack. The South Bend Tribune reports the idea was in the works before the Rochester bus stop tragedy, but that crash made the plan a more...
You eating my damn chips?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. He's eating my chips.
Did you or did you not offer me earlier?
No.
Yeah, you did.
The chips? Pretty sure I did not offer you the chips. Did I offer you the chips?
You did.
I think I offered you some of the food, but not the chips.
The chips are part of the food.
Oh, you just assume the chips are a part of the food. I see how it
Are
is.
they not?
No.
Oh, well.
They're an accessory.
Same thing.
FBI officials say Super Bowl security won't be impacted. The White House says President Trump
What the?
sometime in February.
We continue to make progress. We're continuing to have
Weird.
conversations.
So you guys know how I cut bottles and make them into glasses, right? So I 3D printed last night, and I haven't had a chance to pull it off the printer yet. I 3D printed a jig that allows me to put my Dremel on the rig, and I should be able to use my Dremel with the right bit to saw through the glass, and then not have to worry about the glass doing the hot cold water stress fracture thing. So that could make them more consistent and much quicker. Because I like doing it. It's just time consuming.
Cloudy this afternoon with temperatures around 30, falling into the 20s, and the snow begins as early as this evening, but really ramps up after midnight. Widespread snow, heavy at times through Saturday morning, 4 to 6 inches looking likely. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm
Protected
by CX Sky, your single source for personal protection. Visit them on 3rd Street in Goshen and check out their full line of quality handguns, shotguns, rifles, accessories, and more.
What if this was a loved one?
911. Someone's trying to break into my home. They're right at the front door. We're notifying the authorities. I'll stay on the line with you until they arrive. What could that do?
CX Gun is your single source for personal protection. Stop in today for the largest selection of handguns, AR rifles, ammunition, etc.
No, I haven't even brought up this stupid nonsense about Trump having some dirt on Lindsey Graham. It doesn't even make no sense. That's so Chewbacca, it's ridiculous. Lindsey Graham criticizes Trump almost as much as he praises him. So the idea that Trump has him under control because he's got some story about him is so ridiculous. Oh, and it's a circle back to the argument that Russia has something on Trump. So it's one of those things, once again, you make an accusation, you're proven wrong, you move on to the next thing if you're the media, and then eventually you get back to it because you ran out of other stuff to say, so you get back to the same old accusations, maybe you tweak them a little bit. Yeah, just, yeah, nonsense. Total nonsense. What the heck, man? All the investors are going bonkers even in the middle of a shutdown. We don't care about no shutdown. Turns out we can still do business. And the government's not in the way. What?
Disappointed investors, however, a majority of Wall Street analysts boosting their price target of Netflix to around $403 a share. By the way, Netflix says that
you covered the Cortez appointment to the House Finance Committee.
HBO or Hulu. And Airbnb holding talks to acquire hotel booking site Hotel
no.
as the home sharing
No, I did not.
looks to boost its offerings and make itself more attractive to investors ahead of an eventual IPO. This according to Mark.
What's funny is I don't talk about Cortez all that much, and then somebody's like, "You're obsessed with her." On Facebook, like, why are you so obsessed with her? I'm like, I barely talk about her, but she makes stupid faces, so I get to do funny stuff involving her. And when she opens her mouth, she's bad at math, and that's fun.
Eric would like to know if I've ever watched Firefly.
Heck yeah, man! Watch the whole thing and the movie.
Ooh, how you gotta do it?
Yup.
Either way,
Good
you
show.
win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to
Sad movie, good show.
Racial approval only valid on certain
Oh yeah, the best movies are sad. I mean, the only way for that to end was for them to all die. It was the only way. Otherwise, you would have just you would have maybe been happy, but you would have felt disappointed. It was like the end of Battlestar. The end of Battlestar almost made you angry because it was so infuriating, but it was so good, and it had to end that way.
Understanding income tax basics. And while investors are concerned about rising taxes, most aren't doing anything about it. This is Casey Weed, certified financial planner practitioner. When I got my start as a financial advisor, I was really just a trained salesperson. But I soon realized there are many guarantees in the financial world.
Yep.
And selling another financial product has no value to my clients.
I've got a bunch of Firefly stuff I got to 3D print, but I've just never got an opportunity to do it.
3D print yourself a Serenity?
Yeah, I'll probably have a Serenity or two, and then his gun. And I promised myself that this year I was going to do more printing for myself, and they were going to be bigger prints. So I don't really do the big prints, and it's mostly because I have other stuff that I have to print for other people, so I do smaller stuff, and then I don't do all the cool stuff that I really want to do. And this year I said, hence the Darth Vader, I'm like, I'm just going to do bigger stuff this year.
How long did it take you to print that?
The torso was about 4, and then I think it was 2 for the stand.
Any condition, any price range, and in any location.
I
am not a realtor or associated with any.
Yeah, that one didn't need any supports.
Real estate investor who buys several houses.
Unless you wanted to do support to make it.
You could do supports, yeah, which would help in some of those corner areas where you can see the filament droop a little bit. The rest of that came out great, considering how fast I printed that. Yeah. If I had printed that slower at a higher resolution, it would have been damn near butter smooth. But
Mike needs an invite to Discord because he booted himself.
You booted yourself? That sounds like a personal problem.
Does YouTube still have their messaging thing, or did they get rid of their
messaging thing?
Yeah, they had an instant message system.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not the YouTube expert, so I doth not know. All right, Mike, I'll put the new Discord link, excuse me, in the live chat here in just a little bit. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk
95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. And I do want to thank our sponsors, Second Amendment Arms and Range. And you can go to their website, get more information about them. Check them out on Facebook, too. You got a good Facebook page. And if you mention me, when you go out there, you get half off your range time. So you get to shoot for less, twice as long, really, for the same price. Plus, you get 10% off in the store and listener-exclusive discounts on firearms. So you can shoot, accessorize, and buy more guns there cheaper than anywhere else, just because you're a listener to this program. So make sure you whisper my name seductively into their ears to get those discounts. Go to secondamendmentarms.net. So I got this today. What time did they send it to me? 2 p.m. All right, so 2 p.m. today, the Trump campaign sent me, again, this is the Trump campaign, air quote, campaign, because it still technically exists. So the Trump campaign sent me a press release. And it says, the Trump campaign, send a brick to Chuck and Nancy for $20.20. Get it? 2020? Huh? For $20.20, Americans can send red bricks with real facts about the need to build the wall. It's pretty cool. Weeks after the Democrats began stonewalling President Trump in his fight to secure our border, the American people now have a chance to send a clear message to Democrat leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi about the need to build the wall. Starting today, Donald J. Trump for President, Inc. is offering a red faux brick to be sent to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, in exchange for a campaign contribution in the amount of $20.20 each. The bricks will be printed with facts about the need for border security and an appeal to text wall to 88022. Democrats have been stonewalling President Trump for too long, as the president remains fully committed to make a deal to secure our borders, said Brad Parscale. I hope I pronounced that correctly, as campaign manager for Donald Trump for president. Now, the American people can send a message directly to Chuck and Nancy on a faux red brick to tell them to build a wall. Now, you can also go to buildtheborderwall.com, where you can buy the bricks. So now this is in stark contrast. Was it yesterday or the day before that I talked about the National Republican Senatorial Committee sending me that really lame attempt to get money? Was that yesterday or was it the day before? Do you remember? A couple of days ago, I guess. And I complained about it because the NRSC was basically like, hey, your membership needs to be renewed. Was it yesterday? All right. It expired in December. So you've got to renew your membership for the National Republican Senatorial Committee. I've never been a member. Never been a member. So instead of trying to recruit me as a member, they're trying to use wordplay stuff to say, well, your membership is expired. You got to donate. And then they ask you to donate. And you remember what they gave you? Anybody remember who listened to the program? So you could donate up to the $33,600 per individual. But, let's say you did a $250 donation one time, or you did it a monthly thing. You got the wonderful gift, ladies and gentlemen, of a plastic fake credit card with Donald Trump giving you 2 thumbs ups. Now, it doesn't actually do anything. It's not a gift card. It doesn't have any value whatsoever. It's just a card that you get to carry around. It's like a membership card. It's like, oh, hey, I gave the NRSC some money. And I was like, this is a silly, pathetic attempt to raise money. And then today, so that was yesterday. Then today, the Trump campaign comes back and says, you know what? Give us $20.20 for 2020, and we'll send a red brick with facts about the border to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Now, which one do you think I'm more likely to do? Okay. Do I do the thing where I don't get anything, or do I do the thing that's funny? So the bricks say text wall to 88022, 2018 fentanyl at the border. Enough entered the U.S. to kill every American. That is true, actually. So, and then, that's a fact that'll be sent to the Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer. Oh, you can pick which one to send it to. So I could pick, do I want it to go to Nancy or do I want it to go to Chuck? Well, I'm sure you can come back in and buy another brick in the wall, right? So there you go. Now, when you click on it, so I picked Chuck because I'm sexist. So you go ahead and you click on this, and then you can send $20.20, send Chuck 1 brick. $40, you save 40 cents. Hey, capitalism. You can send Chuck 2 bricks. For $60, you can send him 3. See, you can send him up to 7 bricks for $140. And then you can make it a monthly recurring donation if you really wanted to. But see, that's the type of fundraising that you do, man. You got to make it fun for the people giving you money. You can't just go, oh, thanks. Yo, these are people who get it. And that's because the guy that runs the campaign is a younger dude who understands this stuff, and not some old crazy person for the senatorial committee who's just like, give us like $30,000 and we'll send you a plastic card that doesn't do anything. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, we got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3.
I do think that
What? With the what? With the what?
Some Kathy Regina asked about the wall GoFundMe. If there's any updates on that. How many people have opted out of it, I think.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're going to know that. But again, your money's not going to go for a wall. So if you want your money to stay with him to form a nonprofit organization and pay probably $5 million salary to that guy, you can do that. But you have to opt in if you donated before the 11th. So, yeah, January 11th. If you donated before January 11th, you have to give them permission to keep your money, even though your money's not going to go for the reason you donated. If you donated after the 11th, you are automatically opted into the nonprofit, and your money will not come back to you, and your money will not go to a wall. So it really just kind of depends on what you want to do with it.
I just checked it.
Yeah, I mean, people are giving a ton of... But I'm telling you, the way that the guy worded all of this crap, they still think that I have to opt in for the money to go to a wall. It's not going to a wall. It's going to a nonprofit who says that they will fight for a wall. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. There's a butt ton of other established nonprofits that have a good financial record that have lobbied for a wall. Maybe give them your money instead.
Daily at your favorite Mexican restaurant, Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill. Monterey's breakfast menu boasts the same high quality you'll get the rest of the day. Made fresh.
They should take their refund and buy bricks. There you go. And that'll go to help Trump's campaign.
Hot and cold breakfast beverages with
Not necessarily the wall.
Not the wall, but the campaign. Right.
Oh, our one is saved, by the way.
Thank you.
Off McKinley Avenue, just past Division Street, and online at MontereyMexican.com. Wake up early with Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill for breakfast. You know it's what you want.
Hi, my name is Dave Hendrickson. I've been selling new cars at Lockman Motors for over 30 years.
And I'm Greg Slabo. I've been selling pre-owned vehicles at Lockman Motors for 16 years.
Greg and I have been working together a long time, and every year there was a lot of excitement at tax time.
Yeah, that's right. We have so many vehicles, we are running out of places to park.
We have a tremendous offering of Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, Dodge, Buick, and GMC models. We only stock the best and most desirable from these premium brands.
We have all makes and models of pre-owned vehicles, something for every need and every budget.
There are a lot of options for what you can do with your tax return. Buying a new or pre-owned vehicle from Lockman Motors is the best.
Voodoo Live 1 year anniversary special tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Was that?
The Voodoo Live 1 year anniversary is tomorrow.
Oh.
They're doing a special at 10 a.m. Eastern for anybody that cares.
Has it only been a year?
Apparently.
Shop the inventory right now at LockMoneyMotors.com. I'm Dave Anderson. And I'm Greg Slabo. Lock Monday Motors in Elkhart, a tradition of caring since 1954.
There's an old way of doing things. Honest communication, a handshake. Then you roll up your sleeves and you get to work. Day in, day out, pulling the concrete.
Thank you for the thumbs up.
Steel columns, the very foundation of your build.
Yeah.
Craftsmen take pride in their work. For more than 30 years, United States Construction has rolled up their sleeves, never wavering on their values.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Build their community.
That's all you need right there.
For commercial and industrial, but building relationships.
I should have said thanks like Randy does. So Speed, you know that when somebody subscribes, they get the Randy thanks animated GIF, right?
And a team of experience to tell you the difference between innovation and a passing fancy.
Yeah, Musk has got his government subsidy, so now he gets to fire thousands of people.
Their way the highest volume metal building manufacturer in the country. United States Construction, engineer, site, concrete, steel, build.
Hello, I'm Les Anderson, owner of Signs of the Times. We're a full-service sign company. We've been in business now going on 14 years. We have 2 stores located in Elkhart. A lot of the services we offer...
That's funny, Happy. That's funny.
...in the last several years.
So let me get over to
on a proof, and then when you see it on your vehicle, it stands
Facebook. Oh man, that is the wrong video. I don't want people to watch that video. I pinned the wrong live stream on Facebook. What an idiot. I pinned the one from the 16th. What a moron. Wow. So everybody going to Facebook is like watching the old live stream. They're not watching the new one. Oh, jeez. Casey, you dumb.
What is up with all this old news?
I know, right? Like, I feel like you said this already. Yeah, I did. I'm just dumb.
Display your brand with Signs of the Times Elkhart. Visit signsofthetimeselkhart.com.
Barbara, shout out to the over 500 kids from Northern Indiana at the March for Life today in D.C. There we go.
Your breaking news and weather station.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. I do want to thank R&B Car Company, locations in South Bend and Warsaw. R&B Car Company are your used car experts. We are just a few moments away from open lines. You can call about any issue that you want. All right, I want to kind of circle around to Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, who Democrats have hated all of this time and now all of a sudden like him because he's like flipped on Trump. Did you see the report the other day that Michael Cohen had paid for a Twitter account to portray him as a sex symbol? You see that? And he used Donald Trump's money to do it. Okay, so when he got the money for the Stormy Daniels confirmation thing, confidentiality clause. So when he got the money for that, he asked for $50,000 for unrelated and undisclosed digital expenses. And they think that's the money that he used to pay for people to set up and manage a Twitter account that portrayed him as a sex symbol. So they would post photos of him and go, oh, he's looking great, he's looking sexy today, and, you know, that sort of thing, in order to go ahead and try and puff him up as if he were some kind of an attractive dude. And so he paid for that, okay? Now, let me ask you, just let's go by instinct alone, okay? Do you trust the words of somebody who paid for a Twitter account to be established in order to artificially portray him as a sex symbol? Could you trust the word of an individual like that? Somebody who has already been charged with and pled guilty to lying. That becomes a real concern for Democrats going forward with anything that Cohen says about Trump. And so now the latest BuzzFeed report, again, I can't stress this enough, BuzzFeed is not news, okay? They don't do news well, right? They are a blog that has silly little stories about stuff. They are not a news outfit. I don't care that they have a White House reporter. None of that matters. They are just not a news agency, and they don't do it well. They're consistently duped by anonymous sources who don't provide any evidence whatsoever. And there's a bunch of young people who are trying to make a name for themselves over there, and they just run with it instead of verifying stuff. Remember, the whole dossier fiasco was BuzzFeed. They started that, and it's crap. But look at what it's done to the news cycle. Somehow, having Chuck Todd stare honcho dude over at BuzzFeed in the face and going, "You deceived everybody. You published fake news." Chuck Todd said that to the guy's face after the dossier story came out because it was garbage and everybody knew it was garbage. Somehow that has turned into, oh, this dossier thing is a real thing. No, it's not. It is still fake news, just like it was the week that it was published when Chuck Todd said this is fake news. Okay? So now, BuzzFeed dropped some late-night Trump-Russia news after the media and the Democrats had a rough day dealing with Air Pelosi. Now, this is the gateway pundit Jim Hoft, who is a very biased reporter, but does a lot of good work. The latest fake news story from BuzzFeed is that Democrats and their stenographers in the mainstream media riled up and calling for Trump's head. BuzzFeed reported late on Thursday night that according to law enforcement sources, Trump directed his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to lie to Congress about the proposed Trump Tower in Moscow, okay? Which makes no sense why he would tell him to do that, because there's nothing illegal or unique or weird about it. There's nothing. We've known that Trump has been trying to get Trump Tower Russia for years, okay? There's no reason for him to look at Cohen and go, lie to them about it. There's no reason. All of the emails, all of the timeline that we have right now shows that the Trump campaign ultimately, or that the Trump family ultimately abandoned it early in the campaign because they didn't want the optics to look bad, in spite of this being a pre-campaign endeavor, okay? So Cohen, I've now watched news outlet after news outlet after news outlet bring this story up. Trump told Cohen to lie to Congress about the Trump Tower. First of all, you don't know that Cohen is telling the truth. You're just automatically assuming he's telling the truth. But then we have the issue of the reporter, Anthony Cormier, for BuzzFeed. So he goes on to CNN. Okay, I cue up my audio for this. I want you to hear what Cormier has to say about him seeing the evidence against Donald Trump and that he told Cohen to lie to Congress.
who tell you that they have seen evidence, texts, emails, a cache of other documents, maybe transcripts with other witnesses in Trump organization that Donald Trump pressured Michael Cohen to lie. He sworn perjury. Have you seen any of
Not a story. I don't even need to play the rest of the minute and a half. That's all you need to know. The guy who wrote the article, okay, now keep in mind, BuzzFeed published the Steele dossier. They published the Steele dossier without any piece of evidence in the dossier being corroborated by anybody. And they got burned on it. So I don't know. If you're BuzzFeed, maybe tell your reporters to stop publishing stuff that has been unverified and unvetted. Maybe. I haven't seen any of the evidence against Donald Trump, but I have sources who say that they have. Okay. Well, I know somebody who says that Anthony Cormier molested a kid. I have exactly as much evidence as he has that his story is true. But this is the media. Oh, we don't need to verify anything. We're just going to go with not even high school, junior high school, elementary school playground rumors, folks. Open lines next.
E1, Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your top stories.
I haven't seen anything for it, and that was it.
It was, yeah, so CNN has Anthony Cormier on, and I apologize about not switching the audio. Anthony Cormier is the guy on BuzzFeed who wrote the article, and they have him on, and they go, what evidence have you seen that Donald Trump directed Cohen to lie to Congress? Have you seen any of that evidence? And he goes, no, I haven't seen any of it. Okay, then why is it an article? Why is it a story? Why are you writing about it? So he's not seen any of the evidence whatsoever against Donald Trump, but he published a whole news article. And because he published a whole news article without verifying what his sources are telling him is true, Heavy.com, CNN, The Washington Post, all of these other places have published articles about this, and nobody in the media has seen one shred of evidence that this accusation is even true.
We're scheduled for next month when Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is scheduled to return following recovery from lung surgery. The suspension comes after a lower court ruling that the administration could not proceed with placement of the question on the census. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, whose congressional delegation's trip to visit troops in Afghanistan was canceled yesterday by the president, is speaking out. The speaker says a secondary plan to fly commercially was put in peril by the president.
We never give advance notice of going into a battle area. We just never do. Perhaps the president's inexperience didn't have him understand that protocol. The people around him, though, should have known that, because that's very dangerous.
The White House is denying it leaked information about the backup travel plans. President Trump's personal attorney rejecting a BuzzFeed news story that the president ordered his producer Michael Cohen to lie to Congress about a Moscow real estate deal. Democrats say they'll investigate. This is Fox News.
So I'm like, I don't care what projects. Right? Well, and that's it. I told her, I said, hey, make sure you bring closer to my right? Yep. And that turned into all this scary. The thing is, we have a commercial airline pilot. You can literally pick up the phone and call him. Right. Exactly. And he flies into Indianapolis. Exactly. Well, good luck with that. Yeah. You too.
Oh, later, Kelly.
Bye, Kelly. Give me about 50 seconds, and you'll have hour 2.
Damn right I will. Yo.
Everything is slow.
Yeah. Dude, that computer is brutal slow today. It has these updates that it needs to install, but we're not allowed to log out or restart it. So up to IT to take care of it, I guess. Yep, you're right, Christy. They'll lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. They don't care. And the thing is, nobody holds them to a standard. That's the problem. So if you consistently fabricate something without any evidence and you keep getting caught doing it, everybody says, well, good job. You almost had him. You'll get him next time. And then they go on and they get to do the same thing again instead of everybody looking at them and going, you're a friggin' moron. I can't trust you anymore.
Hour 2, right?
Yeah, that was hour 2.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's...
Oh, it's ready. I thought you said right. Gabariel.
Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey? All right, what would you like to talk about, sir? All right, try to get you on there.
25-year-old Preston Michael Craw was arraigned on a level 4 felony child molesting charge. According to ABC 57, the girl's mother found Craw and her daughter in her bed when she came home from work. He told South Bend police he thought the girl was 15 years old. He later said he knew she was just 12.
That's 95.3 MNC's
Oh, chat.
Huh?
Chat. Reauthorize.
Oh. The Ice Festival in Niles this weekend and stop into the Prime Table for
Reauthorize the chat.
before or after you go.
What the chat? What the chat, yeah? You're my witness, even though you haven't seen it, but that's more evidence than BuzzFeed has. Turn off the coffee pot.
20s, and the snow begins as early as this evening, but really ramps up after midnight. Widespread snow, heavy at times through Saturday morning, 4 to 6 inches, looking like.
I gotta tell you, I'm a little underwhelmed at my negative 25 ice melt. Put a bunch of it out of my driveway yesterday. I don't think it melted a damn thing. So either it melted it all and then it snowed again last night, or it is just ghost poo.
Local story. This is ABC 57 Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs with more frequent forecasts and information coming up on 95.3 MNC, your breaking news and weather station.
Here's the explanation of the word free.
The new meme on Discord before you ask is it says Pelosi flying. It's the drone witch.
Nice. Oh, the drone witch was a good one too.
You'll be keeping it warm right now.
It didn't get to negative 25. What do you expect?
Yeah, it only works at negative 25. Right.
Right now with a free furnace. And at the same time,
The areas that I used some salt melted more snow than the negative 25 stuff. So if that crap don't work, I'm going to be pissed. Spent $20 on that bag. Like it's negative 25. It's the best thing they had in the store.
$20, Casey?
I could have bought a brick and sent it to Chuck. I could have bought a brick, people. Could have bought a brick.
A select quote agent with a true story that can save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs.
Should have did a burnout with the Scout.
Well, I shot the many highly rated
Yeah, on that hill, I'd kill myself.
and takes medication to control his cholesterol.
Not that I'm not dying to do a burnout on the Scout.
For under $27 a month. That's almost.
I am going to wreck those tires before I put knobbies on it, though. I'm going to wreck them. Just wreck them.
Paying too much.
The guy I went to high school with just bought a Subaru WRX.
Yeah? What year?
2000,
Early 2000s. I'm a Subaru fan. I like the WRX. Yup. Even the ugly ones, I would take them because it's just an amazing car. Not so much into an Evo, but I will take the WRX.
Yes.
So, since they're technically direct competitors. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 453 453. Dude, okay, I have no doubt by Sunday I am going to be chest deep in a massive cold. I know it's heading my way. I can feel it, and my throat has been jacked up all day. So I didn't just hit puberty, ladies and gentlemen. I promise I'm just getting ready to die. So anyway, 574-25-95-95.3. And you can also send me a text message at 4536-phone. 6 phones. What the heck is wrong with me? I got an hour to go, dude. I can't be screwing up this much. All right, what was it? 45364. 45364. And you can also
So yeah, whatever, dude. Forget it. I'm just going to go to open lines. I'm screwing up everything. Gabriel, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right today. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. What's up?
Well, for the most part, aside from being sick, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's coming on. I'm not really there yet, but I can feel it's going to be bad.
We're praying for you.
Thank you.
So, like, that brick thing, like, why didn't they just use the funds from that to fund the wall? Because if you take 20 times all the people that voted for Trump to begin with, you know, he would have more than enough in regards to what he's asking.
Sure. Well, and that's...
then on top of...
Go ahead.
And then on top of doing that, if he did that and then took the $1 from Nancy Pelosi just to pour salt in the wound and give them a brick and say it was a discounted rate and autograph it.
Well, a couple of things that we have to address. People are still asking me about the GoFundMe campaign, which I covered in depth the other day. But one, the president can't direct where this money goes. Two, this is by his campaign, not the government. So this is campaign donations, and all applicable laws apply to that. So while I appreciate the sentiment, unfortunately, it can't go down that way.
I do have a question then.
Yeah.
Who set up the GoFundMe then?
The guy who set up the GoFundMe is a veteran. What is it? Corich or something like that. I have to look it up. So hold on a second. Let me pull this up. The GoFundMe border wall. Brian Kolfage. Yeah. He's the guy that set it up. Now, what he's doing, the idea behind that originally was he told people that he was going to take that money and he was going to give it to the government for the wall specifically. The problem is that you can't. You can't do that. It'll go into the general fund. You can donate to the government. Everybody can do it on their taxes, or there's a website for the Treasury Department that you can go donate to the federal government. You just can't dictate where that money goes. So there was a bill that was introduced before the election, or I should say before the transfer of power in the House of Representatives, because it was after the election, that would set up a fund that you could deposit money like that into that fund, and that would direct the money to go specifically to that project. That bill was introduced, but it was never voted on and therefore died. Once the Democrats took over the House of Representatives, you know, obviously they're never going to approve anything like that. So there's no chance of that money actually being used for its stated purpose. So what Kolfage has done, after GoFundMe came out and said, well, you didn't raise the $1 billion, you raised $20 million, but you didn't raise the $1 billion. Therefore, you didn't meet your obligation, so we're going to refund everybody's money. And then he said, well, let's keep the money if we can. So he has established a nonprofit, which I believe he had planned to do all along. He's established a nonprofit. If you donated before January 11th, you have to opt in to not get a refund. So you will automatically get a refund if you donated to his GoFundMe before January 11th. If you want to opt in, you're not funding a wall, you're funding a nonprofit organization. So it's going to go to him and his organization as a nonprofit, where they super pinky promise that they will fight for a border wall. But there's other organizations that have been around for a long time that have done that. If you donated after January 11th, okay, your money automatically goes to the nonprofit. It does. There's no money in that campaign is going for a wall at all, period, end of story.
Well, what he could do is take that money and hire an independent contractor to start building the wall.
Well, Kolfage can't because it's federal land. So it all has to be directed by the federal government. Now, if Kolfage wants to buy private property and erect a wall on his private property, that's okay. But as long as he gets the permits and stuff like that. But Kolfage, who does not work for the government in any capacity, he can't just build the southern wall.
Oh,
so I mean, you know, in Casey's overlord of the universe, yeah, we'd have this done. And I'm not telling people that Kolfage is scamming them. What I'm saying, he might very well intend to have a nonprofit that is, you know, intending to lobby for this. And okay, fine. The wording that he's using on the GoFundMe page is very deceiving because he's telling people if you want to build the wall, you need to opt in. Otherwise, GoFundMe is going to send your money back. And so what people are thinking is, well, I have to fill out this form and opt in. Otherwise, my money's not going to go to the wall. But if you opt in, your money's not going to go to the wall anyway. It's going to go to his nonprofit where he's going to take a salary. So you have
All
to
right,
make
well,
a determination
good that you cleared
you have to make a determination if you want your money to go for that. And if you do, fine, but you should be aware that's where it's going.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Appreciate it.
I hope you get better.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good discussion. All right, man. Take care. All right. 574-25-95-95-3. That's 2595-953. And there's a lot of people who really believe in him. They believe in Kolfage. They think that he is telling the truth. I did tell you that there is an article out there. Now you need to understand a couple of things. I just got done telling you. Take everything that BuzzFeed writes with a grain of salt. The article that was written by BuzzFeed has a disgruntled ex-employee of his who says that he raised money for veterans and he never gave it to them. Okay? I don't know if that's true. But if nothing else, if you look at his behavior and the way he's using language to get you to give him your money, I'm inclined to believe there might be something there. There's other organizations that have been established for many years, have a great reputation with the IRS, who have lobbied for the same things that he's saying he's going to lobby for. Maybe their methodology isn't the way to go forward, and that's okay if you think that, and you think that donating to him and his new nonprofit is the way to go. That's cool. All I'm saying is do your research, and there's nothing wrong with you getting your money back if you're concerned, doing more research once he establishes his nonprofit to make sure that you want to donate directly to that nonprofit. There's nothing wrong with you doing that. And you're not taking anything away from border security. You're not damaging the country in any way, shape, or form. All you're doing is verifying that your money is going to go to where your money should go. And that's frankly what all smart people should be doing, especially if you're donating to a charity. How often have you heard me talk about charities that don't do what they promise to do? And a lot of people use their veteran status or use other people's veteran status to scam the public. So there's nothing wrong with you taking the refund on that. My recommendation, which is not meant to be an indictment against Kolfage, okay? My recommendation is you take the refund if you donated before January 11th, and then ultimately decide if he has earned your money when his nonprofit is established, and then donate directly to him if you still feel that he has. That's it. That's my recommendation, and that will guarantee that you don't get scammed, okay? 574-25-95-95-3. That's 2595-953. More open line conversation coming up on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
I don't think we should build a wall. I think we should build a moat and fill it with crocodiles.
I have been saying a moat forever. Although we have one, it's called the Rio Grande. But I'm pro crocodile. Pro crocodile.
Vicious predators.
Hells yeah. Hungry sons of guns too.
Evolutionary improvement and how long? Shows you how perfect they are.
They're just smaller versions of the crocs they were back then.
I'd rather fill it with tanks.
Tanks. All right, so I promised earlier to post a Discord link in the live chat on YouTube, and I didn't. So I'm posting it now. So if you need a fresh Discord link to join the Horde, here you go. It has now been posted. Dun, 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 dun.
Outlet faces criticism over sourcing.
Good. So Fox is covering it. Fox is covering that the guy at BuzzFeed has not seen any of the information he put in his damn article.
Yeah, they said it in the most recent hour and break.
Yeah, I mean, how stupid can you be, though? In an era of fake news where dozens of news stories a month get obliterated for not having any actual facts or data, it's just hearsay, that ends up not being true, and you still publish an article like that.
Chris's Craft Corner with Chris Turnblom.
Welcome to Chris's Craft Corner. Let's have a beer. Today we're going to have a Great Lakes Christmas Ale. Now, this is Great Lakes Brewing Company's seasonal signature beer. They sell...
So I was leaving Temper. I think somebody at Temper has the plague. I was leaving Temper and I felt a tingle up here in my nose, which indicates to me that I'm about to get sick. So I threw some Zicam up there, and yesterday I started noticing my voice cracking, And then today, I felt it a little bit in my chest and a little bit in my throat. So I know it's coming. So I'll hit myself with some Zicam again today, and we'll see what happens.
Drink all kinds of things to cure the common cold, essentially. So they would add honey, cinnamon, ginger, clove. That's kind of where those seasonal flavors came from. Great Lakes carried the tradition on, making a beer with honey, whole
Echinacea, huh? Thanks, Zach. I'll do that.
all brewed right in together. And what
I mean, it's not like I'm going to really be going outside too much, except for when I have to use a snowblower.
personal top 10. Now we're talking fresh whole cinnamon sticks. And they just
You know what? I could use this weekend as a wife test. That's what I could do. Babe, I'm sick. You want to run the snowblower and actually clear all the snow out for once?
Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey?
gotta snatch it up quick.
Let's see how that goes.
Can I get your name, please?
Enough of it, and it's not going to be around long.
Mike,
If you can find it, grab it, enjoy it. Maybe
I'll try to get you on there, Mike.
later, but that sweet flavor will take
Boop,
you
boop,
through
boop,
the
boop,
holidays, and it might even help out with your cold.
Oh, yeah.
Except vitamin C really doesn't help that much. Zinc is what you need.
Zinc is real good.
You want zinc, not vitamin C.
Niacin flushes, I think, help too. Plus, they feel good and they're all tingly and stuff. So, yeah. Love me a good niacin flush. First time I had a niacin flush, man, I freaked out. I was like, I'm dying. I'm dying. What the hell? Now I seek them out.
Buildings and supply. They manufacture all types, from homes to pole barns, churches to commercial, and many more. Their 55-year-old family-owned business has the skill and knowledge to transform your idea.
You know, so the Washington Post and other media outlets are still out there saying that the Weather Service is affected by the shutdown. It's not. It's not, okay? We still know there's a storm coming in this weekend. We're still getting weather advisories and weather alerts, all right? It's not affecting that. But the media keeps saying, oh, Trump is jeopardizing the National Weather Service. People are going to die in storms. No, that's not happening.
At Warren Chiropractic, they take care of many pain challenges.
I have neck and arm pain with numbness and tingling all the way down to my fingers. It keeps me up at night.
No, you cannot donate directly to the military and have them declare a national emergency and use that money. No, can't do it.
But now, after discovering Warren Chiropractic, I'm able to live life pain-free.
Huh? Text message. You cannot donate to any federal government entity and not have it go into the general fund, unless there is already an established account that is already been established by Congress in order to yeah, you know what I mean.
Here to help you with physical therapy, massage, exercise programs, and of course, chiropractic. Let us help you get rid of your pain so you can get back to your life. We're located in Osceola and online at warrenchiro.com.
Looking for a cool way to get a new air conditioning and heating system without breaking the bank? The Advantage program from BW Cook Service Experts gets you high-quality AC and heating equipment for one low monthly rate. There's no money down, never a charge for repairs, and seasonal tune-ups are free. Right now, get a new home comfort system as low as $99 a month, and no additional charges ever. Call BW Cook Service Experts.
Your wife won't even... Smart move! If your wife won't even learn how to start your snowblower, then she can always say, I don't even know how to use the thing. It's a smart move for her to not have to blow the snow. My headphones, I think, were solid red because the battery ran out on the LEDs. So, and good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595. 95.3. That is 2595953. Again, live streaming on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Casey the host. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're there. Click the like button and also the bell icon to subscribe to get notifications and be able to see when I upload a new video. If you're on Facebook, sorry, I pinned the wrong live stream video to the top of my Facebook page earlier because, again, I'm an idiot. So go to facebook.com/Casey the host. I've got that corrected right now. And it is the final hour free-for-all. So open lines. Call about any issue you want right now until the end of the program. We do want to thank R&B Car Company, locations in South Bend and Warsaw.
R&B Car Company are your used car experts. Let's see. Casey, traffic alert. Just started snowing in Mishawaka. Stay away from any retail outlet that sells food resources. Remember, if you have under 5 gallons of milk, you're going to die. All right, to the phone lines we go. Lynn, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, Casey, how you doing?
I'm well, man. What's up?
Hey, I have a question. I listened to you about that GoFundMe guy, that veteran, and basically the money wasn't able to fund directly into the wall.
Correct.
So is there any way that, let's say somebody like me wants to basically collect the money and fund to that wall? How do we do that? Is there anybody out there know how to do that? I be able to contact them and get that information?
You, to my knowledge, there's no way for you to do it. And when this started, my caution on everybody as it was starting to blow up, and for days people kept asking me about it, and I kept telling them privately, don't get your hopes up on this. And then what ended up happening is we ended up finding out that I was right. Basically, what it was is that you have to have Congress, because Congress controls the purse, right? So they have to establish a bank account for you to deposit into. Now, if they do, so Congress, and they tried, but it didn't pass. So I don't even think they voted on it. So if Congress establishes a bank account that will set aside public donations for a specific project, then yes, you can. The problem is that nothing like that exists. So you would have to have Congress do that.
All right. I have question number 2.
Yeah.
A quick question. Now, you also mentioned about that the Trump campaign send you, information about buy the brick.
Yes.
2020, and then they send a brick. Now, I also received a message that they buy a koi, Trump koi, and then they send a brick to Nancy Pelosi. So I just want to make sure that information is real.
Yeah. So the brick thing is a Trump campaign effort. Okay, so it's to raise money for his reelection campaign in 2020.
Oh, it had nothing to do with the wall.
It's a symbolism thing that if you donate $20.20 because he's going to run again in 2020. That money goes to his reelection campaign, and then they will send a foam brick to either Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer, your choice. And it will have a fact printed on it about the border wall in order to the idea is basically to harass Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer with all of these foam bricks and have the visual impact of funding a border wall sent to their office. But it doesn't actually go to a wall.
So basically, for President Trump to be able to get the wall bill, he'll probably have to stand his ground until the Democrats are willing to get back to the table for those.
Yeah, it's basically public relations is what it is. It raises money for his reelection campaign, and then it harasses the Democrats. But that's it. I mean, so if you're looking for a fun way to donate to his campaign, if you want to support his reelection effort and you still want to harass Chuck and Nancy at the same time, I mean, that might be a good way to do it. So it just depends on where you're at.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Good to hear your voice.
You too, buddy. Good to talk to you again. All right. Bye-bye. Take care. 574-2595, 95.3. Somebody in the live stream asked me what I thought about the executive order option. Here's the deal. He has the legal authority to do that. They will find a judge that says he doesn't. He will continue to fight that in court. He will win. There's a way for him to kind of go around that and say, I don't care what the judge says, and do it. But that would expend tremendous political capital. And as a result of that, the press would absolutely go nuts, and he's going to have to deal with that, which he may not care about, and that's fine. But the option of doing the executive order, while legal and while I think justifiable, would be the less ideal of all of the options on the table right now, sans not building the wall at all. So that's kind of where we're at. So he's trying to force the Democrats to negotiate with him here with the shutdown. And if that works, then he won't have to do the other thing. Mike, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. What's up?
Well, all these knuckleheads in D.C., and I'm talking about the president and the whole bunch, they're forgetting that there's a lot of people by the end of February might be without homes. So then, because HUD is not funded right now. So all your public housing is coming to an end.
I mean,
Section 8, and the landlords won't be getting their rent from the government. The housing authority, they're not getting money for the subsidized housing.
I mean, what I would expect from that is, I assume if you're a HUD landlord, is that you're going to get your money eventually, so you hold on. I'm assuming, again, it's an assumption, and it could be right in some circumstances and wrong in others, that most of the people who are dependent upon the federal government, who is not operating right now, understands that eventually it's going to come back, and they'll be able to negotiate that. But you're probably right. There will probably be examples of that not happening, and ultimately, that rests on everybody in D.C. right now. There's two parties to tangle on this thing.
You have these people who are to me, both sides are nothing but children right now. They're playing with people's lives. It's ludicrous.
So what would you have had the president do as an alternative to this?
Well, we need some sort of protection. Maybe just for now, just more security on the border. Okay. I know we need a barrier down there, but we also need a place to live.
I 100%. I agree with you. But the reason I'm bringing this up, because he asked this question of a reporter earlier, I think last week, maybe it was earlier this week. And I thought it was a good question. The reporter was bringing up, hey, are you going to open up the government so these people can get paid? And the president looked at the reporter and asked basically the same question that I asked you. What should I do? Because you just said, all right, so we need these things at the border. Great. But right now, the president can't get that. So what is he supposed to do? Just pretend that, just say, oh, well, we can't do it? Or should he make a stand at some point, since we've been dealing with this for, 4 decades now? Should he make a stand at some point and hope to force the issue? Or should he have just acquiesced and we don't get the stuff that you just said that we needed?
But, right now, the politicians, the congressman, the senator, the president, the president, he doesn't get a paycheck. He donates his, which I applaud him for that. Mm-hmm. But they're still getting their money. They're still getting a paycheck. It doesn't bother them.
And there have been members of both parties that have submitted bills to not be paid while there is a shutdown. And isn't it interesting that has not made a floor vote in the House yet?
Yeah. They shouldn't get paid.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you on that. But
it's the people who protect this country, the National or the Coast Guard.
Yeah, Coast Guard's in trouble right now. Yeah.
Those people, you can't blame them for going and getting other jobs.
No, I don't think you can blame them. No, a lot of people are taking side jobs. Unemployment's been opened up too as well. So there's all those options. But like I said, it's a dirty, nasty business. This is what happens, Mike, when Congress doesn't pass budgets.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
I mean, one big thing is we don't like Trump because at other times they funded the wall, they funded barriers. Sure. They just do not like President Trump.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yep. You're right about that. Hey, Mike, I'm on a hard break, man. I got to bail on you, but I appreciate the discussion. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Don't forget, get your 5 gallons of milk, okay?
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah, good weekend.
There you go. Take care, man. We got more coming up on 95.3 MNC. MNC News Time is 5:32. Time to check in on Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online. MastersHeatCool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather
station. Tracy, I believe they're only offering to send them to
Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. It's the leaders of the Democrats in both houses. So, and you can send multiple bricks to each one if you want to.
2 p.m. But the wide 12-hour window to steady snowfall. But in that window, especially through tomorrow morning, it's going to be steady snow.
Hey, we got the same number of people watching as we do likes, Casey.
What? No, that never happens. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. Do we? Man, you are awesome today. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm going to do just for all of you guys? I'm going to drink some rum tonight. Just because of that. My new rum that my friends brought back. Now, what you can do, though, Tracy, is you can go buy a foam brick yourself and mail it to whoever the hell you want. It's entirely up to you. You can go ahead and just have a stencil. If you want to print a fact on that thing, have a little stencil with some white paint, put it on there. You can do that if you want to. But if you order those bricks, it only goes to the leadership of the Democrats in each house. So I used to keep a fake brick around because I like throwing it at people. But I don't have one anymore. Dog ate it.
Estimating 30-minute delay
For Saturday for your commute. Who the hell is going to commute Saturday morning?
We're going up to Kalamazoo to visit my grandfather.
You should go tonight. What are you doing commuting tomorrow morning in that weather?
I know. I don't think anybody's commuting. It's the thing.
You've got to give it enough time for the road prep to actually melt the snow and ice.
Well, we're going in the middle of the day, so
Well, okay, middle of the day should be fine.
Yeah.
Because they're saying 10 p.m. tonight to 10 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be on the road next.
Okay.
So we'll be. Let's hope that MDOT gets their shit done.
Yeah.
MDOT's usually
right. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I mean, they didn't do anything the first snowstorm, so you assume that they will. You assume that they will do it now, right? But we'll see.
This is Fox News.
MDOT's expecting a full
call out, huh?
Full roster out.
All right. NDOT says they're bringing all hands on deck.
The full what's the name? Fleet.
Yep.
That's the one. The full fleet out.
You know what that means, right, folks? That means they're going to plow, and they're going to block your driveway with snow.
Yep.
So you need to be getting up early to go ahead and get your snow out of the driveway so you can. It's a vicious cycle.
Widespread snow, heavy at times through Saturday morning.
Your son was supposed to camp this weekend, and they canceled, huh?
In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Cohen.
So the school that's near my house, and Tracy lives right across from it too. There was 2 or 3 people that were on their snowmobiles out there last weekend. They were hauling ass. They were having a good old time. That's the school where my daughter lost my first drone.
Okay, this is like the 5th time I've seen this. 30 days of government shutdown. Government workers can be let go of. First time I have seen this approach come up.
Yeah, people have mentioned that. I haven't looked into it.
Visit Tuesday nights for half-price wine bottles. Wednesday for $3 night. Visit Thursdays to check out Roman's ridiculous list. Or look on your evenings.
That would just slow everything down more than it already did.
With a perfect backdrop for any occasion. Reservations required.
Yeah, I don't know if I am on board with the logic of this, but I have to devote some time to looking into it. An article in American Thinker I don't think is good enough, but
food with attitude.
Food with attitude.
A possible green light for a trade deal has Wall Street seeing.
Yeah, Zach. I kind of agree with you, but I'm not driving tomorrow, so it's not really my thing. And plus, we're taking the 4-wheel drive SUV, so hopefully everything will be okay.
So the furloughed workers can be let go or be put into the RAF process, is what they're saying. So, yeah, I don't know that that's his
ABC 57
motivation here.
is now covering
Here's something to chew on if you like.
They're covering that they don't have any information, or is ABC 57 going, this is as credible as our Memories Pizza story?
I have no idea.
Organic chicken nuggets.
It's a claim that, if true, is huge. So,
It says
interesting.
Trump's former lawyer,
Connell McShane.
Fixer, was directed by Trump to mislead Congressman.
I'm Jay Farmer.
And they said, if true, so I'll give them credit.
Premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate.
Has not confirmed the BuzzFeed report.
Okay. Well, kudos to ABC 57 for saying that they can't verify it.
Tracy wants to know if you have any street plans this weekend.
I'm hoping to. We'll see how I feel. I mean, I would like to. I may end up having to just have to do it with the kids crawling all over me. I might just have to do it that way because I don't know that I can get away from it. It kind of depends on if my sister-in-law comes in too, but she would be coming in.
Your widget.
That's the Facebook one. That's the one that allows me to see the Facebook reactions if somebody does a thumbs up or something. That thing is always giving me trouble.
50% off gift certificates to the Savory Kernel Craft Popcorn Store. With over 90 different flavors of popcorn, there's something for everyone at the Savory Kernel. They've got everything from mint Oreo to maple bacon,
Yeah,
strawberry
exactly.
cotton candy, pizza,
Leave it to the lawyer in the stream, Warren. Not responsible for damage to your stuff. Yeah, I know that because they took a full yard away from my yard last year. They gave it a close crop cut, just right down the lane. Everybody on the right-hand side of the street lost all of their grass.
A patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone.
March for Our Lives photos are coming in, videos are coming in. Had somebody give a shout out to the 500 kids from Michiana that are there. I've got some friends who are there. Pence made a surprise appearance there.
Warren was talking about his new business proposition, dynamite snow removal.
Heck yeah. Oh.
So now he's like, they did that with dynamite?
Sorry, I didn't see the first part of it. Nope, that thing came right on. They didn't know where the road was because they weren't staying on top of the roads, and so they just ground up everybody's front yard.
To 797979. Text FAST to 797979.
Don't tell me what to do.
Talk radio that talks with you, not at you. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Casey Hendrickson.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
Yeah. So I hear.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595. 95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. And please put MNC at the beginning of that message. So today, I got this wonderfully awesome new meal, okay? And this is from Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill. So Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill now does breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. So you can go there and you can get an American or Mexican breakfast any day. And they have something called the Casey Special now. I'm on the menu. Dude, I've arrived, okay? I'm on the menu. So you can go to Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill, and you can get the Casey Special, which is a giant old burrito, which I'm staring at right now. I haven't had the room in my stomach to even begin to consume this thing, and a big old cup of coffee. So, because it's me, coffee makes perfect sense. So you can go ahead and get breakfast. It is served daily from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., full range of American and Mexican breakfast favorites. So make sure you check out the full menu at MontereyMexican.com. And for, again, special offer, make sure you ask them about the Casey Special. The Casey Special with the big breakfast burrito and coffee is just $6, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a really affordable breakfast, and it's going to fill you up. And it's a $10 meal, they say, for $6. Dine in, or you can get it to go. It's up to you. Just off of McKinley Pass Division in Mishawaka. Again, Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill. Get the Casey Special burrito and coffee for just $6. It's what you want. Yes. Love it. All right. 574-2595, 95.3 to the phone lines we go. Who's been on hold the longest? We have Derek. Welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing, Casey?
Doing well. What's up?
Did you happen to see when Chuck Schumer came out on the steps of the Capitol building holding up those furloughed people, pictures of them?
I mean, I saw little snippets of it, but I didn't actually sit down and watch the segment, no.
Okay, do you know why he did that, Casey?
Why is that?
He did it because the Angel Moms came the day before for him. And they had pictures of their children and family members who died because of illegal immigrations who killed their family members.
Well, that seems like
so he came out the next day and did his.
That seems like an accurate comparison, right?
Yeah, I think that's low.
Yeah, and the thing is like, okay, so you're like, okay, well, Trump did this stunt, which is, I mean, there's a real human element here, and you got people talking about, hey, my child was murdered by somebody, and then you come out the next day and like, well, these people might have to wait an extra month to pay their rent. That doesn't really work, does it?
No. And Pelosi, I got one thing to say about Pelosi. I notice the Democrats act like this doesn't bother them. They want to leave town, they want to leave the area because they don't want to hear the phone calls.
Right. Yeah, they don't want to be around.
They don't want to be around because if you think about it, most of the entitlement people we have in this country live in the major cities, and most major cities are ran by Democratic congressmen, mayors, and whatever.
True.
So
I had somebody
when you complain about something, you call your representative.
Correct.
And they're not going to be around. They're going to be gone.
Now, Derek, it's interesting that you brought this up because I forgot to mention this the other day. Somebody had sent me a text message, and they said that they couldn't get through to any of the Democrats who were taking the Democratic line on this because you get a busy signal when you call their office. And I said, well, everybody's probably got a busy signal right now. I'm sure that there's a bunch of activists doing this. And they said, no, I actually got through to 2 Republicans. So they tried 2 Republicans and they got through to them. So the Democrats are putting everything on voicemail, and the Republicans seem to be answering the phone right now.
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to lay everything on Trump's lap. If Trump's the grown-up in the room taking responsibility for it, he's trying to work at a situation. They don't want to hear it. They want to leave and let all of him, because when Trump said he'd take full responsibility of it, they took him at his word. They said, well, I guess we have to deal with the whole situation. We'll just let Trump deal with it.
Like I said,
but they won't deal with Trump. It takes 2.
He's made off. That's it. There's 2 parties here, but he's the one that's made concessions. He's the one that's offered to compromise. They haven't. So that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Take care. All right. We'll try and get the rest of your phone calls in there. Please be patient. I know that these segments go a little bit faster than they probably you probably want them to when you're on hold, but I promise we'll try to get to your phone calls coming up on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Bypass backups and toll road trouble. Find out before you're delayed with traffic alerts to your smartphone. Details at 953mnc.com. Casey Hendrickson.
I accidentally hung up on Warren, and then I accidentally...
So you hung up on Warren and then he called back. Okay.
I did not mean to.
So technically Warren is ahead of Paul. Okay. And then the other person dropped.
Yes. So Warren, then Paul, and then I think we'll be out of time. So we didn't think we'll have enough time for your car.
He called you commie producer.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But he was very understanding on the phone. He was very understanding on the phone. He totally understood.
He's a JAG officer, so that's funny.
Monday's just cold.
He's very polite to me on the phone. So I'm not
commie producer.
Commie producer.
Oh, that's good.
Skies clear into Monday. Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Commie producer can't get the phone. Just call back. Just call back.
That's funny.
Wednesday of next week with highs in the low 30s, but the chance of snow returns. In the ABC 57 first morning neighborhood weather.
We got here.
Speaking of Tom,
The top news stories.
I don't call it a shutdown. I call it doing
Inside and warm
for the benefit and for the safety of our country.
in his natural environment.
That's trying to find compromise. Another day.
it's because he asserted collective ownership of your chips. Pretty good.
Yeah, they were not communal chips, but he took them, didn't he?
Take all of them. Took like 4.
Doesn't matter. You touched it. Touch the sauce, man. It's gross. You can't sauce share. You can't sauce share.
The chip touched.
Yeah, but you can't sauce share, dude. That's gross.
I'll just take all the chips for myself then, Joe. If that's what you want, you see, I'll just take them, and you don't have to worry about it.
Casey, we absolutely need a wall, but why didn't we do that when we still had the House? Well, the House did. It was 3 Republicans in the Senate that didn't do it. So the problem was the Senate.
Speed says to make sure you put glucose.
Yeah, I saw that. Put sugar in your gas tank.
Zach replies with, "Don't worry, my car's on a diet, so no sugar."
It's a winter life hack, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, if you really need to get to the store and your window is frozen, you throw hot water on your windshield, and that'll melt the ice really quick. So.
Mike, did we not put the Discord link in?
I did. I put it in there.
We'll see if I can find it and copy it back in there.
It was in there.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Miller with Good Faith.
I super peak. Hold on a second. I might have it again. I got it again. Boom! I just did it again. There you go. Look at that. Look how amazing I am for you, man. I even like pre-announced it, posted it, and even said you're welcome.
Any condition, any price range, and in any location. I am not a real
It was 3 Democrats that ran as Republicans in the Senate. Fair enough, Al. Fair enough.
And I want to buy more.
Cars need
574
That's true.
621-3277. I buy inherited houses, divorce
Especially if you have a carburetor, just throw the alcohol all over the outside of the carburetor and saturate it, and then start your car.
because I love buying damaged houses too. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses,
So
and
I'm assuming
foreclosure
that the
houses.
chair
If you own a house and want to sell it
MNC is
fast,
giving
phone
away
me
is
at
the same model chair that the Bears giving away?
574-621-3277
I don't know.
for a cash offer today. That's
I have not seen a picture of it. I have no clue. The chair that the Bear gave away last year, I actually wanted it, even though I think it was like a Budweiser chair. I don't drink Budweiser, but the chair was nice. It was comfy. Like I sat in it while it was here because it was here for an extended period of time. Had cup holders built into it and everything, man.
Apparently, the chair the Bears giving away is big enough to hold Jason Lee and Cluck both.
Oh.
And there's photographic proof of it on their Instagram.
So they get the chair. We okay. No comment.
But I don't know if we're giving away.
I don't.
The same giveaway.
I don't know that we've seen the chair. I don't know. I have no idea.
But the Bears also giving away a Budweiser beer fridge with bottle opener. Apparently, a really nice fridge. But we're giving away catering. They game is a different giveaway. For the same model chair.
It could be.
Oh, and the Bears are also giving away probably I think one of the TVs that's in the office. One of those really big HD TVs, smart TVs.
If only somebody had listened to me and
It's 20% off
would offer me. We should be giving away TVs all the time. Like it makes no sense we don't give away TVs.
items not listed in our weekly ad. Stock up and save
Makes
during
no
this
sense.
20% off frozen foods event. Then
They're cheap.
select items from next
Like I
week's
bought a
and
cheap
this week's
TV
ad
just for my
double
basement.
ad savings. Double ad savings
It was like
on Sunday
$350
only.
bucks,
Save
4K.
20% off frozen foods Saturday and select double
Like
ad
60
savings
inches or
Sunday
something.
during the big winter sale weekend. Only at your neighborhood Martin's. We're your home for the Sean Hannity Show. Weeknight 6 till 9.
Or scrape ice off with sandpaper.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You're breaking
It's got to be very low grit though, like 40 grit. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Once again, I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Thank you for listening to the program this week, watching on the live stream, and thank you for subscribing to the channel, giving us a thumbs up. And even those of you who have watched on Facebook today, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I know the Facebook streamers don't get a lot of love during the live streams. There's much more activity on Facebook, or excuse me, on YouTube. Facebook, people tend to watch it after 6:30. So that's when most of the people on Facebook tend to watch the live stream. And it is the final hour free-for-all, which means it's open line. So to the phones we go. Warren, welcome to the program.
Casey, hey, I've been waiting all week because I'm confused.
Okay.
You guys are still doing traffic updates, and I thought that was all taken care of because Elkhart County is putting in buggy lanes. I mean, come on, just because a train is stopped in Goshen doesn't mean anything anymore because we've got buggy lanes between Wakarusa and Napanee.
Yeah, man.
I mean, all 5 cars that go down those roads in an hour are going to be fine. And that's all that's going to take care of everything.
That's all that matters. And once the governor gets his transportation proposal finalized and everything else, we'll have the hiking trails and all of that for the rest of the community.
Do you think like the 4-lane they put in Elkhart, it'll be a hiking trail to nowhere, to a cornfield? Because everybody wants to hike to a flat cornfield west of Goshen.
Oh, man. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't worry about the hour-long traffic jams to get into the Elkhart County Fair.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the trucks running between Topeka and Goshen every day, all day, amongst the buggies on those narrow, rutted county roads. Hey, dodging bicycles is fun. Keeps you alert.
Well, I mean, the Elkhart County Fair is this tiny little event anyway. It only lasts like a couple of hours and nobody goes to it. So why bother?
Yeah. You know, it's not like there's anything going on around there. So, but I just wondered why
you sound like you might be a little irritated by this, Warren. Just a smidgen.
Well, what the heck? We've got a major traffic tie-up on the east side of Goshen. Let's build a 4-lane on the west side of Goshen where there's nothing but cornfields.
Well, yeah, but that's how you beautify the area, right? Now, I have a question, though. Can you use your motorcycle on those buggy lanes or no?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think with what the motorcycle I'm getting, it'll be fast enough to.
That's what I'm saying, man. Because you put that deposit down on that sweet new Indian when it comes out. So,
they're teasing me. They're killing me.
I know. I know. It's a great bike. Joe is saying you got to get a sidecar and then you can do the buggy thing.
Oh, a sidecar. Okay.
Can you get like one of those travel dummies, like they do in the carpool lanes in California where people get the dummy that looks real? Can you get one that looks Amish?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can keep the hat on it though. Might make it's got wheelie control, but
dude, if you have the Amish build an Amish dummy so you can use the Amish buggy lane on your motorcycle in Goshen, that hat will stay on. They will find a way.
Okay, that's sweet. I'll get on that. I'll work with some of this.
You're creating jobs, man. You're stimulating the economy. Hey, Warren, I got to go, man, but I appreciate it. All right, take care. 574-25-95-95-3. Paul, you get the final word. What's up?
Hey, actually, I had a question concerning the border wall and the crowdfunding. Since it can't be done on the federal level, can the states that do border the southern border with Mexico, can they do it in their own legislatures and crowdfunding be started there?
Do you remember me talking about how the federal government and the Bureau of Land Management takes state land and federalizes it a couple of years ago?
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
With the whole Bundy situation, that kind of brought that to light at a federal level. Now, because I'm from Nevada, I've just lived it my entire life, and it's always been something that affects the Southwest. So a lot of that land on the border is already federal land anyway, so the states can't do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great idea. But the federal government's already set themselves up with, no, we're going to control that stretch of I mean, there's some private land, obviously, that still has to be eminent domain. But the other land, the vast majority of it's already federal. So the states can't do that. And if you're just putting it up on the state land, but federal land is right next to you, they'll just go around your wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good question, though. Really good question. All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, sir. Have a good weekend.
You too. Get your 5 gallons of milk. All right, so it's been a lot of fun. I know I'm going to end up feeling like I'm going to die this weekend because I can just feel this cold coming on. Hopefully I can stave it off, but it's been a good week. I think I'm starting to settle back in. I feel like I'm still kind of in my post-vacation funk, I feel like, but just wanted to take a moment, actually, because I know that we don't really talk about the success of the show a lot on the show, and that's a company policy for all of our radio stations, but I just want you all to understand that this show is extremely popular and is very well listened to without giving too much away. And I have to thank you all for that because we couldn't do it without you. And you have made this show a success, and it is growing and continues to thrive in this community, which irritates liberals to absolutely no end. So with that, use that information to keep yourself warm this weekend. Be safe. We'll see you Monday.
What does building a better bank look like?
It starts with building Capital One Cafe. Warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank, where you can open an account with no fees.
I don't know if the president has executive authority to give the land back or not. I don't know.
Welcome to banking.
He did give some parkland back, but I don't know about the different classifications.
2 minutes station. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Al. Excuse me, I appreciate it. Now I got the hiccups, damn it.
Flexible schedule to fit your needs, healthcare benefits, chance to be creative, and create something that will make an impact.
Any quick thoughts about the emergency declaration?
Oh, Zach, I actually answered that earlier. So yeah, he has the authority to do it, and it's a justifiable reason to do it. You're going to deal with the courts because you're going to have them judge shop. Some judge is going to stop it, say that you can't do it. Then he's going to have to appeal and go. Eventually, you'll have to go to the Supreme Court whether or not the president has the authority, which he does because it's already codified. But it could take a long time, and there's ways for the president to get around that, which of course is going to lead to all sorts of he's a tyrant, this and that, news stories. It is the least ideal option other than not building it at all. So if he can force the Democrats into acquiescing a little bit here, then it'll be a victory. If he can't, then he may consider that as a last resort, but it should only be treated as a last resort.
Thanks, Speed. Mostly because Casey needed someone for admin.
I did. I mentioned it, earlier this week that I needed an admin.
And I know how to get on the Wi-Fi now, so I figured I'd come in and add a 6th screen to my setup on this side of the mic.
And Tracy said that Communist Joe has his nickname now.
Yeah.
So he's not Producer Joe, he's Communist Joe. There we go.
Thank you, Warren. I'm glad that you're comfortable enough to do that to me too, I guess. But, yeah.
All right, folks, I am going to have to bail because I got to get some stuff taken care of. And honestly, I've been at work for a really long time today, so I'm ready to go. But thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for those of you lurkers out there who haven't done it yet. Make sure you do that. It does. You know what, Commie Joe? It just kind of rolls right off of the tongue, dude. So there we go. I used to have a producer, friend of mine, that was called Lefty. He wasn't a liberal, but he was just called Lefty, and it stuck. So everybody used to harass him about being a liberal, and he wasn't, but it was really funny. So, all right. Take care, everybody. I do appreciate it, and I have got to bounce out of here and get some stuff taken care of. So hopefully I will be live streaming this weekend. For those of you who use Twitch, follow me on Twitch at Casey the Host because you should see my stuff over there. All right, I got to bounce. Thank you so much. Be safe this weekend.